fight. We don't have to kill. Everybody in the whole wide world really just needs to chill. No, we don't have to fuss, no, we don't have to fight.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Just Chill with Oliver George. This is episode number 79, and sitting across from me, I have a very funny man who I am very eager to get to know more about. But before we dig into the conversation, I want to remind you, if you're watching on YouTube right now and you would prefer audio only, you can get that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other places like that. If you're listening to me on one of those, though, and you didn't realize there was a visual side to this show, please come check it out here on YouTube. If you do come over to the YouTube side of things, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. You don't have to, but it does help me keep growing this channel, and I really love connecting with new viewers and new listeners. So if you've supported the show in any way up to this point, thank you so much for your support. Finally, if you want to reach out to me, if you've got a cool guest idea or some general feedback about the show, you can hit me up on social media or send me an email at justchillpodcasting@gmail.com. When you're sending me a message, let me know if you have any interest in one of these holofoil stickers with the show's logo on it, and I will send you one free of charge. Back to the guest, the man of the hour, as I often say, very funny stand-up comedian, as I already mentioned, is what I was going for there. You are a beast on stage, but also very, very talented at crowd work, a master, I would say. You've done some commercial acting. You have dabbled in sketch comedy as well, and I'm eager to learn more, as I said. So, Abdullah Usman, I hope I said it right.
Yeah, you got it. You nailed that. Thank you for the lovely intro.
Thank you for coming by, man. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
You are just returning from a Alberta tour.
Yes, sir.
Or an Alberta tour, I should say. And how was that?
It was crazy, man. It was really good, really exhausting. My first big tour outside of Ontario, I should say. I've done shows, like, one-offs everywhere, but it's the first string of shows where, you do a theater, then you just go do some dive bar in the prairies.
You had like a dozen dates at least, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, I think we did about 14 or 15 shows in 3 weeks. It was real road stuff. Can we swear on this?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, road shit.
Yeah. The real deal comic life.
Yeah, so
what was your biggest takeaway from that experience then? Like, what was the biggest surprise you had?
The biggest surprise, that I didn't realize how beautiful Ontario was till I went to Alberta. No, actually full knock to Alberta. The place is just gray, and then the grass is yellow, the trees are non-existent, and then everybody there just mines oil. That's all, the whole industry is just oil. They love oil. The planet is burning around them. It's depressed. It's just so many strip malls everywhere. Edmonton is all strip malls.
Oh, they got the super mall there, too.
They got just malls for no reason. They don't have the people, just malls. But lovely people. Ontario is beautiful. I forgot how nice it was till I got back.
Yeah, I've never been out west. I have no picture in my head, really.
Really, eh?
Well, I mean, I know like the prairies are like super flat and all that. But
that's it.
Yeah, I didn't know Alberta. I thought they had some mountain stuff.
They have mountains, yeah. Well, most of it is not mountains, but then along the border with BC, we had a show in Banff. That was beautiful, man. That was some, you feel like a rock star. You're like, this is why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Not for the purpose of making people laugh, but so you get to be put up in a beautiful city and get free beers all day.
Soak it in. Yeah.
Feel like a rock star. Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you, I didn't realize it was your first tour. I was kind of wondering if you had a day job or if you're getting to the point where you can be like a professional comic and sort of pay the bills.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess you just caught me at the beginning of my journey. I'd say from since December, maybe 2021, I've been a full-time comic. So
right on.
No day job. Yeah, it's going great.
Especially during the pandemic, that's extra impressive.
Yeah, that's when, the corporate gigs started picking up, and then I had enough gigs for the next month or two, like booked, where I was like, I think I can scrape by. It's time to just, you got to take a leap of faith. Otherwise, you're always stuck. I find this is what my thinking was, is, you got to ditch the plan B if you want to fully go for the plan A. So just
It's just dead weight keeping you down. Yeah,
exactly. Well, you know, you want to go on tour, book gigs or whatever, but you got to work at 8 a.m. for some shitty company.
Burning the candle at both ends. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, it went all in, and it's stressful being full-time comic, but
well, you had to delve into the like online comedy shows as well, right?
Yeah,
The
you got to
virtual
do
stuff.
virtuals. A lot of comics hate them.
You had like rave reviews I was seeing on your website from all these people who had great experiences.
Oh yeah, Gig Salad.
Oh yeah.
That's what the.
I'd never heard of that app either.
Yeah, it's a great. I mean, it's great for booking gigs. Every comic should hop
Is it
on
for
there.
music too, or just comedy?
I think it's for music. It's for any type
Nice.
of entertainment, and a lot of comedians hate corporates. A lot of older comics, younger, whatever. They're like, it's not real comedy. This
Doing
isn't
comedy for the man.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing comedy. I'm like, dude, I'm doing comedy to get paid.
Yeah.
In the end, our goal is to tell jokes for a living, right?
Yeah.
So I'd rather tell bad jokes or for a bad audience than still, work or pick up a shift at some, shitty
Job you hate.
Yeah, some job I hate, killing myself. So it's just a challenge. Like you take it, all right, you're not allowed to swear. It's a government crowd. They all, have no life. They all, think eating pizza is a personality. They're, they think they're quirky. Whatever. What's going to make these people laugh? So
Yeah.
take it as a challenge and write in a different style.
And what does work on those types of people?
What
The really
does?
sort of staunch aristocrats. How do you break that crowd?
Let's see how you got to make jokes about them, their industry. So you literally got to look into. You got to make like Microsoft Excel spreadsheet jokes. And
Do you try to find out like specifics about the people?
Yes, yeah, like you
look
said.
at Jeff, this fat fuck over here, or whatever, and everyone's like, oh, it's right, Jeff is a fat fuck.
Yeah. There's always a Jeff who's a fat fuck.
Or whatever. Insert
Right.
joke that everyone knows from The Office, or sort of. I guess that was very bullying. That wasn't a great example, but
But that's
roasting,
that's
whatever, yeah.
roasting. I usually do if you're booking a corporate, you ask the booker, usually an HR lady or whatever. They're not willing to give up too much information,
Yeah.
but you kind of be like, come on, Margaret, what's going on in the office? Did someone have a baby? Did someone...
life events and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if somebody had a big, like a good life event, like just got married or something, then it's easier to make fun of.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to make fun of somebody's divorce.
Yeah.
You can't
Someone
punch.
like got cancer or something. Yeah.
Oh, look at this idiot. How's chemo going, fucking loser?
That's still funny to me because it's dark, but obviously in the moment that would be terrible.
Yeah, so you just gotta.
It's funny in this context now. But
It's
Well, you did comedy
never
for the
funny.
CRA, I read too.
yeah. CRA, Department of National Defense, all of these. You think it's hard to get these, like it's some great vetting process they go to and then hire the best of the best.
Yeah.
No, they just hire me. They're on Gig Salad.
Crazy.
And
Well, I mean, you've got a good resume though. You won the competition in 2019 at Absolute Comedy. We should say that because that's an impressive feat.
yes, I won that. I guess that's impressive.
Oh, I say winning any contest, even if it's a local whatever, it's still
Right.
showcase that this person has more
Yeah.
talent than all the other people. Well, not more talent, but they excel and clearly they beat out their peers on that occasion, and you don't do that without skill.
Yeah.
I guess you can get lucky, but
Beat
not
all
for a whole
these other
competition.
pussies in the community. All these Ottawa comics suck, dude. Other than me, all of them are bad. I'm sorry to break it to you, man. And
Do you have
No, I'm
do you have favorite comics from around here?
yeah, dude.
Not to put
I
you on the
love,
spot.
A lot of them are. It's a great scene.
Who do you think's an underrated local comic?
Underrated local comic? I mean,
Or maybe somebody new that's busting
Let's see.
out that just kind of came out in the last year that you think has like tons of potential.
I guess one like on underrated. I think you might have had him as a guest. David Haddad.
Yeah,
my good friend.
Yeah,
He's a great joke
very funny.
writer, and I think he's great, and he's popping off. He's finding his voice.
He seems very comfortable on stage last time I saw him.
Yeah, super comfortable. His jokes are very unique. He's a great, like I write with him. I write with like only a handful of comedians
Yeah.
in this. You got to write with people who you vibe with, who get your voice as well. And David can do that. He understands how I tell jokes. So if I'm like, hey man, here's a flushed out or half flushed out premise, and here's some punches, and then he'll be like, oh,
He could
here's
write
a
it from your
tagline.
perspective.
Right,
kind of.
right.
Yeah.
He's great. He's a great writer, great performer. So
Yeah, people who haven't seen that episode, go check it out.
Go
'cause,
check out
David's
Haddadi.
a very nice guy. I think he's just very sweet too. Like I think
Yes.
it's very easy to like him as an audience
Yes.
member. I don't know if it's the hair
think
or the big
that's-
eyes. He's got like these puppy dog eyes. Something about him. He's very lovable.
he's a babe. David's a babe. Come on, man.
Yeah, well, he has a joke about all the girlfriends wanting to comb his hair like a horse.
Yeah,
I think
that's
you
a
want to
great
date a
joke.
horse or something.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's a great bit. I don't know if we should give it away.
Well, we just did so.
Yeah.
I don't know. He might have it on YouTube or
Fuck
something
you,
already.
David. Yeah.
I wanted to say about the West Coast tour though. That was like you were co-headlining with Alex Forte.
So Fortin was
Fortin?
No, so yeah, Fortin is he's my friend, but he's a headline. So he was headlining, and I'd be emceeing
Oh, okay.
or opening, but not
The poster looked very equal, right? It was
right.
like both of you
Well, I
guys.
made the poster. So
Oh, well, you get to call the
dude.
shots then.
Yeah. But opening as in you do like 30 to 40 minutes, and then he
Okay,
go do
so it's a
60.
solid open.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not like Ontario club show openers.
Yeah.
It's like road openers. Like, so a lot of the shows, what happen is they don't do like MCs even. So it'd just be the first act. I'd be the first act. I'm the MC essentially. I'm doing the opener. I'm doing the middle. Like you do just straight 30 to 40 minutes. And then Alex Fortin comes up and does 60.
Oh,
That's
wow.
it. Just two guys on a show. That's how it runs there. That's how it runs in a lot of places in the States as well.
I've seen shows around here too, like when it's bigger people, bigger names
Right.
coming through town.
Right.
They'll bring their own opener and that's
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Like, when Bill Burr comes through and his opener is, I forget his opener's name, but, whoever he has, he's not a guy doing 8 minutes. It's a guy doing like a whole half hour, 40.
Well, and they're not scooping up locals either. Like,
Yeah.
you do see some people that will do that. Like,
Right.
people come through Yucks, they'll have people opening for them that are people from around here,
Right.
sort of
right.
up and coming. But
Yeah. That's like a local. Yeah, there's different definitions of opener. But when a comic tours with an opener, that means that opener is essentially the step below the headline.
yeah,
Like he's the MC or
isn't it called the feature or something?
the feature.
Yeah, yeah.
But if it's just a 2-person show, like then it's him and then the other guy.
Well, that's great if you like the comics.
Right.
Because then you're locked in. You're like, sweet. We don't have to like flip flop between a few different acts. But
Yeah.
that can also be fun in a different way too. Sometimes I like that watching 10 different comics because then you'll probably hate 3 or 4 of them, but you'll find 5 others that are really cool and unique in different ways.
That is true. The showcase style has its perks, but if you're on the lineup, then a lot of the times if you're good or somewhat good, they'll just put you at the end because they want the show to close. And I'm like, dude, this sucks for me. Why do I have to sit through 10 comics
Oh yeah,
and then feature and get paid $20 at the end?
yeah.
Just to be like, just to be tortured here. Come
Yeah.
on, man. Put me first. Whatever.
So you
I'll
can
go.
dip.
Yeah, or just get drunk.
Yeah, really. Oh my god, man. Oh shit. I wanted to ask you, did you get back from that before the storm?
No, yeah, you guys got hit.
You were
pretty
still
hard.
out
You guys
there?
got dinged up. Yeah,
Because I was gonna say that's stressful. Like if you're wondering, you got to call someone and be like, "Yo, can you check my car or my house or whatever? Make sure it's not all fucked up."
Yeah, I mean, I live right downtown in like a tower in a complex, so I don't think I have to worry about that.
Probably not. Yeah,
So
it was really bad around here.
Yeah, well, yeah.
If you see, like, they just for people who don't know what we're talking about, Ottawa was hit with like a crazy storm, which is really weird because we also had a tornado a few years ago, and this was almost on that level.
Right.
Well, the destruction was actually worse.
Yeah.
But I didn't see this shit when I was growing up. We never had any freak events like this other than the ice storm. But this new one was holy fuck. Like everywhere you go, trees are just boom, 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 like a T-Rex ran through or something,
Yeah, you think it's because of cancel culture? It has to be, right?
It must be.
It's because of these kids. It's because of the trans. They're bringing the tornadoes.
Transnado.
Trans.
Oh,
Sounds
man.
like an X-Men.
Yeah, that's true, right? Transnado. There actually is a trans X-Men now, I saw. A couple X-Men groups, that's how much of a nerd I am on
Right.
Facebook and shit, and there's some drag X-Men now.
I mean, aren't they
about
all
time.
in drag, essentially?
Well, they're not dressing as the opposite sex necessarily.
I
but
guess.
They're all dressing up in wacky costumes, that's for sure.
I mean, you can't tell me Wolverine isn't like 50% drag. Look, he's got like high-heeled boots on.
I don't know about
Magneto?
that. The hair is pretty like...
Yeah.
It's because he's a runt.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Wolverine is supposed to only be like 5'4" or something,
Right.
like ridiculously small.
Yeah. I mean, thank God for Hugh Jackman being like,
He was like 6'1" or something, yeah.
he changed the
But a lot of
idea.
fans bitch about that, and they're like, "Oh man, that's the worst casting because he was way too tall." I think they did a good job though, making him really seem stocky and
Yeah.
like he could rip the shit out of you.
He's stocky, but but you want somebody who's tall to be a superhero, I think.
Yeah, like I could see why they went that way, especially before, this is way before the MCU and all that, where I think they've become a lot more true to the comics now that they
Right.
realize the nerds will come and see it. But back
Right.
around when the X-Men shit came out in like the early 2000s, they were just dabbling with superhero movies and they didn't think it was going to sell.
Yeah.
I mean, a few years earlier was like Batman and Robin with George Clooney, which was atrocious. So like there was a dip after that until Blade kind of...
Nipples.
Yeah, the bat nipples on the suit, yeah.
Yeah. You tell me that's not drag?
Yeah, well, that's maybe one example. Tim Burton was just bitching about that, saying that was that he almost did the third one, and then there was some sort of a fallout. And I don't know. He made some comment about the bat nipples though, and being like, "Oh yeah, you didn't want to go with me. You went with this instead." Like, come on. Oh
wow.
man.
Yeah, Tim Burton. I thought Tim Burton was also bitching about the Marvel movies. Oh no, that was Scorsese.
Scorsese, yeah, he was saying
Yeah.
that superhero movies aren't real movies or whatever.
I agree with Scorsese.
Yeah.
I love superhero stuff, but Scorsese movies are the best movies ever made. So
Yeah,
if he doesn't like superheroes, I don't.
I wouldn't agree like that they're not cinema, but I would say that a lot of the MCU stuff is kind of like blockbuster bubblegum kind of summer movie. Maybe not bubblegum, but you know what I mean? Like it's like a Transformers movie or like something like that. It's like-
Transformers.
You say Scorsese's kind of gangstery.
yeah, true. He's got his sub themes always. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know that I've seen that many Scorsese movies, to be honest. I've seen, what's the one with all the Boston cops? It's
Departed?
Like, The Departed. I've seen that for
That's
sure.
the worst one in my opinion.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Shit, I watched the wrong one.
It has so many loopholes. People love it, but it makes no sense.
What's his like best movie in your opinion?
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. Never
Goodfellas
seen it.
is the best movie.
Never seen it.
My favorite movie, at least. Goodfellas.
Did he do Casino too?
Casino
I've
is
never seen
great. Bronx Tale is his most underrated one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
I don't know
great
that
one
I've even
'cause
heard
it's
of that
about,
one.
like a young kid who's around all the Italian gangsters. But it's the huge theme in that movie is the segregation in like the 60s New York. I think it's the Bronx. You have the black side and then the white side and the Italian side and the
Turf wars and
yeah,
shit.
the turf war, the shit the black people go through, and then he like his love interest, the kid's love interest is this black girl, and then there's a whole story, sub story about that. It's great. It's a great movie.
I'm like only now starting to get into more films like that. I feel like when I was growing up, I only ever really wanted to watch comedy,
Right.
or I think I had a horror period too in my teens, but I always just wanted to like feel good when I watched a movie, and a lot of dramas and action movies just give me anxiety. I was like, I don't want to feel stressed out for 2 hours. Like, is this guy gonna fucking die? Like, you know. But other people, that's their bread and butter. So to each their own, I guess.
Yeah, dude. I just got into it like in the pandemic, into like good movies. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Real
'Cause, yeah,
films
when
and
you're
stuff, yeah.
growing up, I'd just be like, my mom and my dad are yelling at each other
Mm.
constantly. I'm like, I don't want to watch something that's gonna
Full of conflict and shit. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna throw on a Russell Peters special.
My parents weren't fighting, mind you, but I think I was just maybe a sensitive dude. I
You're
don't know.
just an emo kid.
Or I just love comedy. I think that's a big
Right.
part of it too. I just love to laugh, and I love different approaches to comedy and filmmaking.
Yeah, I mean, even now, it's 90% of it because I don't watch that much film and TV. I don't have time.
No, I mean,
but when I do, I just want to laugh
yeah,
And
exactly. Escapism in the best
yeah.
way. Yeah.
instead of like going through like a whole plot about somebody getting their throat slit.
Well, okay. So here's one that's kind of a mashup. Like, how do you feel about stuff that's funny but also serious? So, like, a good example, also tying into the superhero stuff. Have you watched The Boys?
Yeah, The Boys is great.
It's
I like
fucked
The
up,
Boys.
though,
But
right?
it gets serious.
So
though.
fucked up.
It's super fucked up.
Did you like the new season just dropped? Have you seen any of that or
What
no?
is this, season 2?
Season 3 now.
Oh, yeah, I watched season 1. I feel like I might have dementia, dude. I just forget it. Like, I'll watch a season and then a year later, like, the next season will drop and I'll forget
It kind of blurs together.
everything. I'll just forget everything.
That's what those catch-ups are for at the beginning, you know?
I guess so.
Previously on.
I hate those. I want to know every single detail about, you know, what a character did, how they got here, and I forget everything. I read books and then forget them completely.
Can I tell you I mean, this is spoilers, so anyone who hasn't seen The Boys season 3, episode 1, spoiler alert here. But the most fucked up shit happened in this episode. There's a little dude kind of like Ant-Man style. He can shrink. Or they show at one point he can grow too, so he can change his size, right?
Right.
And he goes in the back room with this dude. I guess they're lovers or whatever. Yeah, they start making out. And then the other guy's like, oh yeah, like I want you to do it. So he whips his dick out. The dude shrinks down, walks into his urethra, and starts like rubbing the inside of his urethra. And you can hear the guy like, oh yeah, like don't stop. And then the guy inside the mini dude, he's like, huh. And when he sneezes, he loses control of his power and grows back to full size and explodes the guy from the waist down. Just fucking brutal. I don't know why I felt the need to share that, but I watched it last night and it totally like fucked me up, man.
Dude.
Right? Like, how do you write that shit? It was entertaining to watch, but it was very fucked up to think.
Was that entertaining to watch?
Well, it was a little weird, to be honest. Like, the walking into the dick hole was a little weird.
I wouldn't think that'd feel good, to be honest.
That's sort of what I was thinking. Yeah, it seemed like an STD it would feel like or something. Like you've got some
it'd be burning.
itching on the inside of your dick hole.
I mean, the butt I understand.
He
not
wanted
by
him-
experience. But
You want him to go up and rub his prostate.
Yeah, that's what it was. He's like, yeah, keep going, reach the prostate.
Can't you reach it from the butt?
True, yeah, right? That's a thing.
Yeah, from the outside.
I think what it is maybe, and I don't know why this would be the thing, but I feel like maybe the censors were like, okay, we've talked and we're willing to let you shove someone up a guy's dick hole, but not up a guy's asshole. There's probably some weird thing like that. Some corporate was like, no, we can't have you going up an ass. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it would have been pretty much the same difference, but then you got to show shit.
I mean, Amazon's pretty used to blocking people's penis holes. They don't let people piss.
What do you mean?
Amazon, like the warehouse?
Oh, Amazon.
Yeah,
okay,
it's made by Amazon.
It's a Prime Video. Yeah.
Amazon Prime.
What do you mean they don't let people piss?
They don't let people piss.
Is this true?
They don't give people piss breaks.
You have to like go
Yeah,
on
you
your
have to get
actual break.
you have to get an Ant-Man to climb inside and suck it out because they don't. No, it's like a legit thing. They don't give people like pee breaks. So there's like a whole thing about like their warehouse is filled with bottles of piss.
Oh,
because
I thought you were gonna say like smelly stains on the floor or something.
I mean, probably
They wear
stink.
diapers too.
Is this actually? You've heard of this?
Yeah. It's like in Vegas with the chronic people at the machines,
Slot
right?
machine, yeah.
They now they wear these super depends and stuff. They just sit there and they're drinking and pissing while they play.
Wow.
Oh my god,
Guys, you want to go to the casino? It's gonna be the shit.
Yeah, this is
wasn't
not
that
the
good.
casino directed by Scorsese. I'm gonna tell you that. Imagine his movie's just about dudes in diapers. It's like gangsters, but they're like wearing diapers.
Maybe that's the life he's living now. He's getting up there, you know. He
Yeah,
wants to write
maybe.
about what he knows.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh shit! What else was I gonna ask you? Okay, well, I kind of want to know about like how you got into comedy. I read that it was like 7+ years ago, so it sounds about the same time I got into it. As much as you've far exceeded anything I've done in
Oh
comedy.
no, it was
2015?
4 years ago.
Oh, 4 years
Yeah,
ago. For
yeah,
some reason, I
not
thought
7.
it was 7. Okay.
No, 4.
Well, maybe 7 was your graphic design stuff.
Maybe.
I
Did
don't
you
know.
read that somewhere?
Yeah, I thought I read it on your website, but
I don't know. Maybe I lied somewhere.
yeah, I thought it
but-
said 7+
yeah,
years.
Maybe it was for some gig for the
Oh,
CRA,
fair enough.
and they're like, "Yeah, I've been doing it for 40 years." I don't.
Well, regardless, though, when I saw you doing all these sketches, that I assume you're putting some of them on TikTok or
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
very funny stuff though, and it reminded me of films that I would make with my friends on like home video cameras when we were doing a project for school or whatever. So I wanted to know, like, does it go back that far for you? Your dramatic sort of outgoing side?
No, actually, my outgoing side. I wasn't outgoing till like university, which
Oh,
is
wow.
the reason I moved. Whoa, almost
Oh, that's okay.
dropped
yeah.
the mic. All right, we're good.
We're good.
We're
You
good.
saved it.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna be not outgoing and just be like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot. I almost dropped the mic. I get anxious very quick.
Oh, same here, dude.
But yeah, no, I wasn't an outgoing person till university, which is the reason I moved to Ottawa. I was very shy, very inside my head.
That's shocking to me. I don't know.
Yeah, dude,
like,
my
really?
family doesn't believe it.
Yeah.
My family, like my dad, he's a good dad, but some of his parenting styles, like he would like make fun of me because I was shy, like that's, and now I do that to other people and like my siblings, like
It's a sign of love in a weird way.
in a weird, yeah, but
I'm sure I do that with my son
that does
too.
not make you more outgoing.
Yeah, it's true.
But my
Anti-
parents were surprised when I went to university, like got outgoing, just cracked out of my shell, started doing stand up. But I used to be very, very scared and very timid.
At least you can say that though. If your dad's ever like, well, "Why are you doing this comedy thing?" You'd be like, "At least I'm
like,
not fucking shy."
Yeah, you just called me a pussy every time I couldn't. Like he'd just be like, "Go ask the clerk for whatever.
Yeah.
He'd be like, go, tell the cashier that I'm just gonna go grab milk and sausages.
Yeah.
And eggs. And I'm like, Dad, you're doing half your grocery rent. I'm not gonna, and I'd be so
Tell
scared.
him I'll be back
and
in a
then
second.
he'd like make fun of me until I went up and did it. And I just wouldn't do it. I'll just like start crying.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a little harsh.
Yeah. And then I was
Well,
like,
because some of that is good. I have kids, and my oldest is 13 now, and like there is something about getting them to like, no, you call and make that haircut appointment. Like, you know, you don't want to be doing their laundry till they're fucking heading off to college and shit. You know,
right. But then you don't come back, and if they don't do it, tell the whole family, and then like they all laugh at it. That's just my dad. My family, like I have 4 siblings, mom and dad, and we're just big fans. And they just make fun of, ridicule people. I guess that's why I'm a comedian now. I like going up on stage and doing roasts, but it would just be like funny wins in the house. So I guess that's where the funny comes from. But outside of the house, I was very shy, and then university happened. Something clicked. I don't know.
Was the family supportive though when you started doing stand up? Or very like taken aback?
They're super supportive, which is surprising for a Pakistani family. Brown family, it's just expected. The stereotypical doctor, lawyer,
Or something with computers.
something tech guy, but my parents are super supportive, but they haven't seen my comedy.
Oh no?
They barely.
Do you like bar them from seeing it, or that's just a
I
choice?
kind of just don't share it with them, which is shitty. I'll have to like tell them about my entire reality soon, probably.
Once you come out with a special or something.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You gotta
You're
like
Mom, I'm on Netflix. Like I kind of gotta break it to you.
I gotta break it to you. I talk about buttholes and Ant-Man in piss holes, and I drink and
Sorry, Abdullah Usman, for
Yeah,
bringing that
sorry,
one up.
yeah.
I sort of goaded him into that one.
I'm sorry, I won't share this episode with my mom, dude. I know I have to share this, but not with my mom.
Oh, that's okay. I don't ask anyone to share it. Oh, I do, but I don't expect anyone to share it.
I don't know. Yeah. My mom, so because they're very Muslim, they support it, but they're very Muslim. So I'll just show them like my clean jokes here and there. But I can't have them come to a comedy club.
Because you're going to be so out of your element, I would think, if you know they're there.
Yes, but also they're just gonna like I'm just gonna be drinking, and it's a club comedy. You get raunchy and all that, and so. I mean,
so they can support like the concept and the idea,
yes.
but not like the actual content immersing themselves.
Yeah, my comedy is like God, like to them. They just haven't seen it, but they believe in it.
But I mean, like when they hear that you win a competition and that you're doing tours, they must be somewhat proud or see that you're moving up.
Yeah, they're super proud. It's the thing that makes this hard. Is that my mom is super supportive, and she's always like, I want to share this on my Facebook. I want to share. I'm not even Facebook friends with my mom. I just tell her I don't use it because, I mean, once again, I'm like, Mom, this is going to be easier for you also.
Yeah, less stress.
If you know that I'm a degenerate and, I talk about all these things I'm not supposed to be, and the boy you raised, then she's just going to be heartbroken.
So they must not know that much about stand-up comedy in general then, because you'd think that you would come to those conclusions on your own, like...
They don't know about North American stand. They do watch quite a bit of like Indian and Pakistani stand up, and like they're not idiots. They have to know. They have to know I partake in shit, and I probably talk, to drop vulgarities and all that. Some of the stuff they watch is a little edgy, I guess, but I don't know. I come from a very religious family.
But if they watch something edgy, it's not their son starring.
It's
in it,
not
you know
their
what I mean?
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like they're very religious. I grew up super religious, so that also probably adds to the shyness, right? The constant,
Well, this is what I wanted to ask you about. I had it in my notes, just your upbringing and if you were in a religious environment, because you mentioned drinking, and I know it's generally frowned upon in Muslim culture. But I had another Muslim friend who was the same thing. He drank and kind of just didn't tell his parents.
Yeah. That's there's like a whole. Like community, it's like an unspoken thing, but I guess in Toronto, Brampton, Mississauga, a lot of people do it. But
like secret drinking clubs.
Yeah, and I guess Arabs. Well, no, it's just drinking clubs here. You sound more Pakistani than me right now. Drinking club? It's just a club.
Well, yeah, I mean a place where they all get together and be like, okay, no one tell our parents.
Yeah, what you do is like I had some Pakistani friends who we drink. You just tell, I'm going over to Sal's house. and we're just gonna, watch movies. And then you need to have like a Muslim friend. So they're like, all right, he's with the Muslim friend. He's not gonna do anything out of line. And then you just go with your boys. And just
Yeah,
get
it's like
hammered.
having the nerdy friend who's like the valedictorian, and you're like, oh, well, they're not gonna smoke cigarettes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shit. Well, I actually kind of wanted to know because I don't have a ton of Muslim friends. I'm not super aware of the culture and the religion specifically. So I was curious as to why.
And that's why we are being hit with tornadoes. All right, you need transnados. You need to have more friends who adhere to the one true religion. Because if you don't, Ottawa's gonna get fucked.
Wouldn't it be crazy if a transnado was something that if you got caught in it, it changed your sex? When you flew out the other end of the tornado, you were like the opposite sex.
Your cock just gets whipped back.
It's like one of those trees. Oh man. No. So what is it though? Why in the Quran is alcohol forbidden? You know the ideology behind that, or are you just a heathen if you drink? Like,
it is forbidden. I mean, indulging in alcohol in Christianity is kind of forbidden too. It's like you can drink wine, but you're not.
I was going to say it's also like, yeah, true. It's maybe binge drinking is not celebrated, but the fact that like the body of or the blood of Christ is like we literally have alcohol on site every Sunday. You know? So there's some acknowledging and acceptance of alcohol into your.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I could I grew up going to Quran school. I know all the stories. And so I could tell you a lot about it.
I find it interesting, to be honest. I mean, I don't have a specific religion that I adhere to.
The thing in Islam was just, so Muslims believe in Christianity and Judaism, like super hard. Like we believe in Christ, we believe in Moses and the Torah and the Bible.
But Christ was not the son of God.
He wasn't the son of God.
Prophet,
he was a
right?
prophet.
Okay,
like, God has no sons. God creates humans. He doesn't weirdly procreate or whatever.
With
like
some lady.
Yeah, the whole thing is, God, he's not the son of God, and there's no trifecta of Holy Ghost. There's no Avengers of God. It's just God. And but like Jesus is like up there. Like Jesus is mentioned more in the Quran than Muhammad.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Jesus is mentioned the most amount of times out of all the.
And they talk about his crucifixion and all that as well.
Yeah, the whole story's in there. All of Jesus' stories, how dope he is.
But not the miracle stuff, right? They take that out. I'm assuming that
that he cured the lepers and all,
or that he walked on water, or that he rose from the dead.
That's all in there. That's all in there.
See, that would make me believe. Okay, well, maybe this guy is the son of God if we're willing to accept that he rose. And I'm not Christian, by the way.
Right.
But, that might convince you. You'd think that if the guy rose from the dead.
The story is very similar. It's all in there. So the whole thing of what Muslims believe is that, so Muhammad is the last prophet after Jesus. Christians believe Jesus is the last prophet. And Jews believe that Moses is the last prophet.
They'll have different stopping points.
Points because God was telling me, like, I'm going to send y'all motherfuckers one last guy. Humanity's existed for like 200 modern humans have been around for 200,000 years. So the whole belief in these religions is that God has been sending many prophets in different areas to tell them to straighten up. Yeah. And then he's like, I'm going to send y'all one more. And then it was like, they think it's Moses, they think it's Jesus. And then Muslims believe it's Muhammad because...
What a crazy thing to have be the differentiating reason that you have wars and shit.
Oh, dude.
It's we agree on 95 or 99% of this shit. Except for, who was the last prophet?
Dude, literally, it's these three religions, they're like 95% of the world's population or something, right? Something crazy.
Very high, yeah.
I don't know if it's that.
I mean, yeah, there's probably a lot more atheists than there used to be.
I mean, they are. Muslims and Christians are the two biggest religions.
Yeah.
So these are the biggest religions in the world. They're all the same. They're literally all the same. I'd say other than little semantics,
other than the protagonist, basically.
The protagonist is different.
That's it.
They all believe in the same story. It's the whole thing. I mean,
it's almost like the different.
Don't
Batmans.
bang your neighbor's wife or whatever. Weirdly, is in all of them.
Oh, well, I mean, it's probably good advice if you don't want to get your fucking head punched in by your neighbor.
Yeah, I guess back then you're like. Yeah, your neighbors are just gonna walk through. You don't have a door, so he's just gonna fucking kill you if you bang his wife.
That's it's just so shocking to me that they're so similar. Like, it's like the way people argue over who's the best Batman. It's like, well, can we at least all admit that we all like Batman?
Yeah,
I
kind of had a joke written, something along those lines.
Oh
with like superheroes and all that. It's been done probably. I'm a hack. I shouldn't be.
But they keep coming out with new Batmans too, right?
That's true.
You know, and maybe
They do
there's
that with
maybe there's going to be another.
Scientology, anyone?
Well, maybe there's going to be another prophet coming along. Like, you know, a lot of these, you know, Trumpers, and then they found a new prophet, and and he's spreading around the world too. So who knows?
Oh yeah, I mean that's absolutely true. That's how all these people do it.
Well, Scientology was like that too, right? He convinced a whole bunch of people. This fucking science fiction writer,
right,
was like, "I'm gonna write a science fact." Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna make up a fact.
What a fuck.
But that's what Mormons are, just Christians who believe there's another guy after Jesus. There's a bunch of like Muslim sects as well that are like, well, there's other guys after Muhammad. So it'll keep happening. But anyways, the whole thing is that not drinking is that. I don't know why I did this whole rant. People are just getting too fucked up in Saudi Arabia, like the small village where Muhammad was, and he had a few followers at that time. It's the same story as Jesus. He had like
it's
8
like posse.
followers, and then the posse grew bigger and bigger, and then people are just getting fucked up. They'd be like praying to God, and like drinking was allowed, just not in excess. The same thing, and then they'd just be like, people would just be like praying apparently, and they'd just be like mumbling like gibberish, and then so God was like, you boys got to stop this, man. You boys got to like pray properly. You can't just be like in the mosque together. Be like, I was Allah who fuck what's the last part, dude? It's like hammered, you know. So then he was like, your boys can't drink, Muhammad. You got to go tell them they can't. And then Muhammad was like, dude, this is fucked. You can't, like, Muhammad would like, so in Islam he'd be like, God, you can't do this. Come on, they're not gonna like this. And God was like, dude, deal with it. Tell your guys.
Yeah.
So he had to tell them. Apparently, it's like the first one out of all of them that were like, God got so pissed that he was like, you can't drink anymore now.
Yeah, sloshed worship is not a good look.
Yeah. They're probably, dude, it's probably hot as hell.
You go to kneel and you just fall flat on your face.
Yeah.
That's a funny visual gag, though. Shit, what else do I want to ask you? Oh, so then with all this in mind, I mean, it sounds like you're maybe not the strictest Muslim.
No,
if you're drinking.
I'm not.
But what do you think happens after you die then? Do you have any like spiritual leanings?
Dude, it's hard.
We're all figuring it out.
Yeah, we're all figuring it out. That's the thing. I just don't, because I was so so inundated with this. Really, is that the right word?
Yeah.
With the religion, like so, like growing up, super religious family.
All the
like
time,
since I was like 6 years old, they've been telling me you're gonna go to hell if you don't believe. So it's kind of hard to, at some level, not believe it unless you super are atheists. And I'm not really atheist. I guess I'm agnostic.
Agnostic.
I do believe in God, and but I don't know how much I believe in it. I don't know. I don't really believe. I don't really focus on any religion. I don't really care at this
For me,
point.
when I see the amount of conflict and death
Yes.
and hurt that comes from quote unquote like doing the right thing and being a part of a religion, that's kind of the line in the sand for me where I'm like, I'm okay with thinking about spirituality. I'm very open to that. And I like trying to observe all these different religions because I think they all have very important messages and good things you can add to your life. But overall, signing up for one, enlisting, I can't do it.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Religion causes all of the world's problems, and
There's so much hypocrisy too in every single one.
It's not one of these three religions. It's just every, like you said, like Trump is a religion. All these people, humans need like leadership and guidance.
Idols. Yeah.
Humans need answers. We're thinking creatures, and we don't have the answers.
Yeah.
Religion gives you a quick solution to life's hardest problems. What happens after death? Heaven and hell. How do you...
That to me is like not a simple solution at all. Because then that you have to think about infinity. All of a sudden you're like, okay, so I go to this place that's beautiful and amazing and all my friends are there. I'm going to do that forever?
Yeah,
but the
thing is, it's in bliss. It's like you're on heroin. You're not going to feel bad.
That sounds messed up,
Yeah, but I mean... If your dopamine doesn't
you're just
run
in
out,
ecstasy,
you're just happy. That's what all of us want.
Yeah, I guess.
So it's the same. It is.
I would only be truly happy if I somehow through that process lost all sense of time and cognizance of like chronological. Because that would eat me up inside. I'd be like, okay, well,
that's probably what it is. Like the religion doesn't get into the semantics. They just tell you you're gonna be happy. Like don't worry, you'll be happy. And look, if you don't like that, you could go the other place. where you're gonna get skinned alive.
Well, there's reincarnation as a third sort of way to think about it, which to me is almost the best one, because if you truly get a blank slate, like you could say, well, you might have already lived 4,000 lives. Like, does it bug you at all? No. Like, you know what I mean? And there's something comforting in that, knowing that.
Yeah, but then you're not you. So
yeah, I know, right? Isn't
but
that
to
true?
finish my other thought is everything, like, people are just gonna hate other people because they have their own certain ideologies, which are made by a charismatic person.
Yeah.
Like, people need leadership. We want answers. Most people don't like to think for themselves, right? So whatever. America is a religion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
being super patriotic for any country.
Super patriotic. That's a religion. So if you didn't have a lot of these people aren't super Christian, but they're just super American.
Yeah.
The guy in China, the Chinese dictatorship, that's a religion. They literally worship him.
Oh, you mean like North Korea?
China. Even
China too? No.
They worship, like they have like the guy's picture. I forget his name. What's his name?
I don't know that. I always think of Kim Jong-un when I think of this stuff.
No, one of my buddies, he's Chinese, and he was like showing me, like, he's half Chinese and half German, and his whatever Chinese side grandmother, her apartment in Toronto, went over, and she had like a little shrine with like the dictator. Like, they really believe.
But is it like a forced worship where, like, if you don't worship him, we're gonna kill you, or that kind of shit?
You can only do forced worship. Yes, that's what Stalin did, and that's what these guys do in North Korea.
Yeah.
But that'll only get you so far. You have to make these guys believe it. Humans are easy to trick, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because she's in Toronto with the shrine. She like moved to Canada, but has like a shrine of this guy.
Wow.
Like, pictures of him up. Like, these leaders.
President Z, isn't it, for China?
Right.
What, XI like?
It's probably a new one. She probably had the old guy back in her time. I don't know too much,
Well,
but
there's
I know.
Mao. if you go back.
Maybe it was Mao.
But I know some Asian cultures have like dynasties and stuff very
Right.
similar to like the royals and all that. You know, where,
Right,
like they
right.
would worship the who's the head guy in Japanese dynasties? I can't think of, like, not the shogun. What's the name?
The emperor.
Emperor. Thank you. That's the word. Which makes me
Right.
think of Star Wars, actually. Shit, man, we're all over the place
Yeah,
here.
we are. Sorry, I'm ADD. As
No,
hell,
that's
dude.
okay. I love these types of podcasts. I always just got to remember where the hell I was in notes. Oh, yeah. I did want to talk to you about racism because I can only imagine, in North America, especially post 9/11. That's what I was thinking about the most, because we're probably roughly the same age. I don't know. How old are you?
I am 25.
Are you actually?
Yes.
Why did I think you were so much older?
Yeah, dude. I have
Sorry,
lot of,
like, I don't mean that as an
a
insult.
lot of eye bags, dude.
No, it's not like wrinkles or anything. You just seem like a fully grown ass man, like you could have kids or whatever. Like, I don't know why. I thought you were like 30 at least.
Nah,
Sorry if that's bad.
no,
My
dude,
bad.
It's all good. It's all
I
good.
feel bad after saying
It's all
someone
good.
looks older than they do.
I'll take it as I present myself as older.
Yeah, well, you're very
Instead of
mature and
have
you
an
come
old
off as
man's fucking wrinkly face.
Yeah, no, you present yourself very mature and
thank
well spoken and stuff. But okay, so even more so then. So what year would you have been born? I don't feel
96.
Like, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, so you weren't that old when 9/11 happened, then, like 7.
Oh, dude, I was.
But still, the
I was
ramifications
like 6 or
of
7, something like that. Yeah, dude, I vividly remember it. It was the day. I mean, you've probably heard this all the time. It sounds cliche. It was the day that brown people's lives changed, and you were just very clearly the enemy in the public's eye. I mean, dude, every day on the news station, it'd just be telling you that these people are fucking worse than Satan.
they all want to cut your head off.
They had to convince the entire North America, the entire Western world, that it's okay to invade these countries. It's okay to kill how many millions of people? I don't know what the death toll is now. You had to, the media and the governments had to convince the masses that it's okay to to go and bomb them daily. Do you know how much brainwashing that is? It's brainwashing. You go on TV every day, you have to be like, these guys are bad, because otherwise people will be like, why the fuck? You're like,
well, it's also distract the populus with other shit too. That happens a lot too, with stupid entertainment crap and
distract them. But they needed Bush campaigned he campaigned on invading. What was it, Iraq?
We'll
or
get Saddam Hussein and
Osama
and all that.
Like,
all that. Yeah,
these guys and the Muslim fucking problem and Islamist extremists. So literally, just that 9/11 was a day that I just became an enemy. Like me and my family became an enemy.
Especially at that age, that must be so terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really realize it because you're just kids, and then But I vividly remember a memory. Remember a memory.
Well, that's what you do with them. Yeah, it's sounds weird to say, but
It does. Yeah, it's redundant.
No, but you must have seen a shift in your parents and the older people in
Dude,
your
so
lives.
we were in. This was maybe 2004, 2003 or 4. And my dad took us, me and my siblings, me and my family, to a vacation in Quebec City. We were living in Montreal at the time. And we went to a McDonald's in Quebec City, just like right outside Quebec City, like one of those en route highway McDonald's.
Okay, yeah.
But it was very busy there. And we're just trying to order some filet-o-fishes, the worst thing on the fucking menu. Because my family was super religious. They only eat halal meat and fish. You can eat fish.
Okay.
So we're just like a sad little brown family there, just eating like just
stinky
rotten,
fish.
stinky fish. And this guy, this like white French dude, just starts yelling at my dad, and we're like, I don't exactly remember what he said, but along the lines of, "You fucking terrorist! We should go bomb you. They're gonna come get you, fuckers.
My God.
Go back, whatever. Fuck you. I'm gonna suit up myself and go kill you, motherfuckers." There, he was screaming that with an accent too, which is funny. Like being, "You fucking terrorists! You fuck, you fucking, we will bomb you.
You come here and you eat your fish."
Yeah, you come here, you eat my fish." This is the worst Quebec accent.
It was the best Quebec.
You fucking terrorists.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a mix with France French.
Yeah, right, yeah. How would they say
sacre bleu.
terrorists? How would they say terrorists with the Quebec?
Terroriste? I don't know.
Terrorists? I don't know, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the make it even more aggressive, you know?
Well, there's a lot of that in Arab speak too.
Yeah. It's not in Urdu, though, so.
Oh, fair. Okay.
That's what I speak. Anyways, yeah, dude, he was like doing all that, and then like it got like and people around weren't doing shit. Like some people, like he had like his table of boys there, and he was the one getting aggressive, and my dad was like trying to swerve around. My mom was like almost in tears. And my dad had like we were like little. The fucking what kind of piece of shit do you have to be to see like
Little
6-year-olds
fucking
and like my 3-year-old brother there and come up and attack a man like that? And then my dad like took this guy to a separate table from where we were sitting, and he was like, "We could talk here." He like, "Don't yell at me in front of my face. We want to talk." And then so he's sitting there, and I just like crept in and sat next to him because I thought this guy was gonna kill my dad or something. This guy was like, "Fuck you," yelling at, and my dad was like trying to have like a conversation, trying to tell him that we're not terrorists,
Trying to relax
and
his
this
fears.
guy, and then he like fucking flipped ketchup and fucking ketchup splash of it, and then we were like, "All right, we're just gonna eat in the car." And families like, my mom's crying, my
That's
dad's all
fucked up,
fly.
man.
Yeah, so this is the type of shit it did, and I mean, and then you face racism.
Sadly, I'm sure that wasn't a unique story. I'm sure there's plenty of other people, brown people as you called them, but
Yeah,
people who are affected by that. And I'm sorry you had to go through that on behalf of shitty white people. I don't think I'm a shitty white person, but I'll try to apologize for the assholes of my Caucasian persuasion.
Yeah, no, but you don't. You don't have to. It's also like, you face racism.
Oh, let's be honest. Yeah, who cares if you're white or not? Just being racist in general.
Being racist
it doesn't
in
matter
general
what
is
color
bad.
you are. Yeah,
It is fucking rough to North America and just grown up just around the world. You're the bad guy. You're the devil.
Yeah.
Even to this day.
I think it's finally getting better.
It's and shout out to COVID and
Well, and like I was just watching the new Marvel show, Kamala Khan. She's openly
Right.
Muslim, and that's cool just to see that representation.
It is cool
to know
It
that
is
like
cool.
someone growing up in that kind of a family is going to be like, oh, I could be a superhero too.
Yeah.
So I think
that
you wouldn't
is-
have gotten a show like that in 2001. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely.
There never would have been a chance in hell. The first show I remember seeing that was like really openly Muslim was Little Mosque on the Prairie.
Yeah, dude,
I
I
didn't
mean-
watch a lot of it, but I was aware of it.
My dad loved that show.
It was a CBC production. Yeah, I don't know
I mean,
what year
Canada
that was.
is. We face shit in Canada, but it's better than the States. But it's just a whole aura of propaganda, that made you the devil. More so than it's like it's this person's fault or it's that person's fault. At the end, who knows?
They're just succumbing to brainwashing, essentially.
Yeah, it's whatever, American politics. Whoever they want to be the enemy, so they can like get some gains and defense contracts and oil or whatever. Then that's the enemy. It's Russian or it's Chinese. But yeah, so that was shitty. But I mean, people are like, I have to apologize on behalf of white people.
Well, I mean,
that's not.
I didn't really mean it like thinking that it was going to do anything. Obviously, I can't forgive some random guy's
what?
actions.
Nobody's
But
ever said that to
you know,
me.
I just feel shitty when I hear a story like
Yeah.
that, and I'm like, come on, like even if the kids weren't there, like who the fuck does that? You know.
Yeah, you know,
But angry, scared people, like that's what we're saying. You know, it's people who are afraid. That's what it really comes down to.
Right. I mean, whatever. It gives me material.
Yeah, you didn't know at that age that like you're like 15 years later, this is going to be some hot, good jokes,
some
man.
good jokes. Yeah.
Shit. Well, did you deal with racism in the comedy world at all? Like you're coming back from Alberta.
Yeah, I mean,
Cowboy
with
Central.
audiences, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I wouldn't. I guess there's some racist comments. There's racist everybody's.
That's why I love seeing you on stage, though. Every time I've ever watched you interact with the crowd, it's very clear who's in charge right from the beginning. You, of course. But
Right.
you're very comfortable and confident in a way that I feel like even if someone said some racist shit, you would be able to shut them down very quickly and have the audience like turn on that person very quickly.
Right. Yeah.
But that's such an art to be able to do that. That's not everyone can master a crowd like that.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I mean, yeah, crowd work is just practice as well. I've been, I made it a goal for 1 year, maybe like 2 years ago. I was like, all right, I really need to work on crowd work now. So every show I went, I just did crowd work for a while. And then
Taking
you build it
hosting
up,
spots and-
you're hosting,
Yeah.
and then you weave it in with your material. When people say shitty things like that, I think of, somebody, this didn't happen in Alberta. I forget where it was, some small town near Ottawa. I think it was like some
Cornwall?
French, maybe Rockland
Sorry,
or something.
Cornwall.
Some like French,
Oh,
Ontario
yeah.
town. Maybe Cornwall. I don't think it was Cornwall.
No, Cornwall's not super French.
But
I think.
I made some joke about like, you guys look kind of racist or whatever. Some hack joke. White people fucking
Yeah.
racist. And they're like, woo, fuck yeah, we are. And the guy, and he's like, and then I was like, all right. I just tried to crowd work him. He's like, just do your jokes, boy. And I was like, oh, all right,
Gross.
yeah. But then, yeah,
You
it's
can
not
hear
like
the like whoosh
yeah.
just in the background.
But then I'm like, I don't remember I'm like, who the fuck says? I just like on stage, like you said, you just turn the other. Everybody in that audience isn't racist. They're like, you just make fun of them, dude. Go back to Duck Dynasty,
Go back to fucking your sister or whatever.
Yeah, easy jokes.
What is the worst heckle you've ever gotten? And
Uh,
how did you navigate that
maybe
situation?
that one? The worst.
Well, that sounds pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah, but the worst heckle,
Or maybe one where you felt like you really.
I mean, dude, and like coming back from Alberta, I didn't get like too much racist stuff. But I did a show in Grand Prairie, and there's it's a show in a casino, in like the showroom of a casino, decently big show. And it's one of those shows where I just do 30 and then the headliner does 60. So I have to just open a cold room of like Alberta, rednecks and blue collar oil workers and
Wow.
too many women with like upper thigh barbed wire tattoos for some reason and men with mud still on them.
And do you feel apprehension from a crowd like that, like the second you walk on stage?
No, it's just a great. Those crowds are usually good, man. These people don't get that much entertainment. I'm making fun of them, but they're lovely and very nice.
Okay, awesome.
But it's just a cold show in general.
Yeah.
So you're opening the show up, and the first few minutes are gonna be bad. So I crowd work, and the radio guy. So there's like a radio announcer who brings you up before you go. He's just like, ladies and gentlemen, your first act coming from Ottawa, Abdullah Usman. But he didn't do that. He went up and he was like, how are we doing tonight? Yeah. And then he makes some shitty joke, bombs. And then he goes, oh, not a big joke crowd, eh? And I was like, oh my
brutal.
God, already
Pick
turning
on
the
the crowd, yeah.
And then he does some, he's like, this guy, do you like jokes? Some shitty crowd work. And he's like, this guy looks like a flat earther. Just out of nowhere, he said that. And the guy was like, yeah, I am. And then he was like, are you really a flat earther? And I'm in the back. I'm like, dude, bring me up. I'm the comedian. What the fuck are you doing?
Oh my God.
And so the guy's like legitimately a flat earther. So I go up, I do some crowd work with him, get some jokes. He makes some jokes about it, like he's a flat earther, yada, yada. He just keeps talking about how the earth is flat. He's like, I've been in the airplane, man. I was like,
While you're on
I'm
stage.
like, what? Yeah, I'm like, I've been on the airplane. I'm like, all right, good for you. Is that like an accomplishing thing? Is that like a big deal in Grand Prairie to be on an airplane? I was like, did you not see the Earth's curvature? Then it just became like a Joe Rogan podcast
Oh
debate.
my God.
And he's like, well, the windows are specifically made. I was like, what? He's like, the windows
like an optical illusion.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
then, so I'm doing my jokes, and then I go back, and then he talks again, and I'm like, you still believe the Earth is flat? He's like, all right, well, it might not be flat, but it is hollow. And so now he went from flat Earth to hollow.
How could something flat be hollow?
I was like,
That'd be like a discus, like
Yeah,
with a
yeah,
hole
yeah.
in the middle, like or like a CD, I guess.
it's a flat hollow Earth.
Yeah, that.
And
makes
this guy
zero
would
sense.
not shut up, dude. He just kept
Oh,
like,
man.
and I was like, this is the most small town shit. Just like a guy adamant about convincing everybody that the Earth is flat.
Oh, my
It's
God.
hilarious.
Yeah, well, man, it sounds like you handled that one well, though.
I mean, it was
didn't
brutal.
let
I'm
it
making
ruin
it
it.
sound funnier. It was brutal because people also don't want to. I found that in Alberta, these small towns, when you do shows, because like there's a big blue collar culture there, and these people are laborers or work, whatever, and they're right leaning. They're more old school. They get in fights a lot and whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, rough edged people there. So the small towns, when you do shows, crowd work doesn't do well there because other people don't want to laugh at anyone else in the crowd. They don't want to laugh at their expense because
Like a community thing?
any guy, no, more so like any guy in here could be a problem. Like people are so hot-headed that a guy
shit.
could just fucking smash a bottle,
They're
and
like,
so he's gonna
"Oh,
go
no,
after
he-"
me, but he might go after you as well if you're laughing. Like some shit could break
You
down.
just make a small joke, and they're like, "Oh no, he didn't just say that." To
This
Frank."
is it.
Oh shit! I thought you were gonna go the other way, that they all like have such a community feel that they're like, "Well, now don't pick on Sally. She just lost her cat."
I mean, maybe a bit of that, but more so like people are quick to fight there.
See, man, I think one of the funnest things about going to a comedy show is watching a comedian do crowd work, and I love when you see an audience that gets that, and
Yes.
they're there for that, and
Right.
they're there to come just have some silly time and not take themselves or the comic
Yeah.
too seriously. Just really lighten the fuck up. That's what it should be at a comedy show.
Absolutely, because and I'm not like a shitty, I don't really punch down or make fun of people and then go into it too hard. Like I usually, whatever, I go back to myself. So I'll make fun of somebody. Hey, you look like this, whatever, yada yada. But then I'll be like, who am I to talk? I look like
Yeah.
I work at a cell phone kiosk.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever. Like I'll go back to myself because I'll be like, haha, look at this guy, and then I'll be like, haha, look at me even more.
Yeah,
I'm an
you know
idiot.
why? Because beating the shit out of someone's not fun, but sparring is, and that feels more like you're taking a couple punches, but so am I,
Yes,
and then
yeah.
it's fun as opposed to just wailing on somebody.
Everybody's taking like punches here.
Yeah,
we're just
now
here to
we're
have
just
a good
having.
time.
Yeah. That's cool though.
Yeah. But some people, these people, they have big egos, fragile egos, or whatever. I mean, they work in the fields for fucking like 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
Then they come out. I can understand it from their perspective as well. They want to have a laugh. They don't want to get shitted on. So
Yeah. They just want to watch it like it's TV. Kind
watch
of.
it, exactly.
Yeah.
That is. So you just got to go up and do your jokes. And like, hey, whatever. What's up with doctors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not rely on that interaction.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions, Dad? Normally, I know you didn't prep one, but just from listening to the convo, have you thought of anything you want to ask him?
No, I kind of stuck my oar in as we went along, so I'm good.
Okay, right on. I did want to talk about your graphic design because I saw that you were a talented artist and you did like Jazz Fest stuff for Questlove and The Roots, which was
Yeah.
super cool. How'd you get that gig?
Damn.
Was it
man.
on gig salad?
Yeah, hire me for the Roots as the Roots artist for $20. No, I applied. I got like a junior level position there as a graphic designer. I did my degree in product design
Okay.
at Carleton U, which encompasses graphic design, technical design, so much. But I like graphics and art, so I went into graphic design and got that job at the Ottawa Jazz Festival, and then I've made my way up to be the senior designer I only worked there for a year. But yeah, I got to work on the 2019 Jazz Fest, and they had like big names. So I got to do like exclusive artwork for The Roots and Nora Jones. And
That's so cool, man.
yeah, man. It was like Boston and all these bands and big groups. The Roots reached out to Questlove. Was it Black Thought reached out to me? Because I was in charge of making like the whole theme and the artwork for the poster.
Okay.
So I went with this like minimalist 70s stencil type of design. And I used like an illustration of The Roots, like Black Thought and Questlove, as like the main festival poster.
Oh,
So-
wow. Okay, cool.
Because I'm a huge.
They weren't expecting that.
They weren't, yeah. So they reached out to me and they're like, "Yo, like, can you, appreciate it?" For Black Thought. Yeah, he's like, it's all love, my brother. Thank you so much for the work, peace and love. Yeah,
They shouted you out. Nice.
Yeah, talking like true like '90s underground rappers. All peace and love, my brother.
All the lingo.
I was like, hey man, yeah. It's like
Black Thought is like the main guy from The Roots who does the microphone skills, on Jimmy Fallon.
very talented rapper.
Oh yeah, super talented. Most people know them from Jimmy Fallon now.
I
but
know it's shitty because
in the
they're
90s, yeah.
huge. I mean, they have some real beautiful rap.
Yeah, they've got some great songs.
Yeah, he reached out and he was like, I was like, no shit, I'm fucking DMing Black Thought right now.
That's crazy.
And then he was like, I would love to have one. Can you ship it to me? And I was like, can you ship one to me? And I was like, this is amazing. I was like, fuck it. But then I fucked up and I was like, oh yeah, of course I'm gonna get a beautiful high quality poster printed. What's your house address? I said, what's your house address? And then he ghosted me.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
He thought you were gonna send him a bunch of crazy crap,
Yeah.
other stuff maybe.
He just
Or
like
just come and find him.
He's like, this guy's insane. Why is he asking for my? Because I presented myself to be as like better than I was like, yeah, well, I have like a design firm. I'll just lie and be like, I have a design firm.
Yeah. Fake
But,
it till you make it.
I was just like the designer at the festival, so he just thought I'd reach out to his agent and
Yeah.
get it sent. But I was
I
like,
still think that's a little harsh to ghost somebody after you're just like giving them big ups and saying thank you for all this work, and then to just kind of, I don't know, who knows what celebrities like that deal with.
yeah,
them,
but they also deal with crazy people. So I just looked back at the text and I was like, I just sent it so quick, and I was like, what's
Where do you live?
Yeah, where do you live? And he's like, this guy's insane. I'm
As
gonna
opposed to if you had said like, what's your shipping address, or
yeah,
like
yeah,
an
yeah.
address I could ship this to.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
But to cut someone out for one like misstep seems so over the top,
also, yeah, but he also probably just never looked at. He just looked at it. He's like, this is weird, and then
Too much
just-
to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah, he's famous and big. And,
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
But yeah, that was a cool thing I did with graphic design, but I don't do it too much anymore.
Oh, no?
Yeah, it's just comedy.
I know you're doing some Yucks posters and stuff. And,
I did some work for
Dirty Bird
Yucks.
Festival.
Yeah, I did Birdie's branding for the Dirty Bird and all that. So I do stuff. I do stuff for comics, just commission based here and there. But I don't do, I'm not trying to make it full time as a graphic designer. I left that. I've left every good job opportunity I've had for stand up.
Yeah, that's how you know you're a true stand-up man.
I hope so. I hope.
No, honestly, I've interviewed a lot of comics on this show, and the ones that stand out the most to me are the ones that fit that like pure
Right.
stand-up. Like they can't do anything else. It's always the siren song.
Yeah.
Because I like doing comedy, but I mean, besides just having a family and too many other things going on, I know I couldn't survive. I know I'm probably not good enough. Yeah, you get better and all that,
Right,
but
right.
I don't think I could handle life on the road. I would have way too much anxiety. I'd be like, I miss my kids.
yeah, dude. Life on the road, like coming back from Alberta, and it seems glamorous, but it's not for most of the part. You're in some shitty hotel room. Like I was in Fort McMurray, a town that got ravaged by
Wildfires.
God's wrath.
Yeah.
Because they keep mining oil.
Yeah. Leave Mother Nature alone.
Leave other day. Yeah. But yeah, it's the worst place I've ever been in, with all due respect. It's just sad there because it's like just a town built.
Does everything
for,
still
like,
look all burnt down?
Yeah, but on top of that, it's just like we gave them money and then they just rebuilt it worse.
Oh.
I feel like we gave them money and they bought more burnt trees to put around. Guys, it's been 4 years. Like, what the fuck? Like in my
Oh, that's
hotel
brutal.
room, there was just
Not to laugh at the plight of people who
no.
lost their homes.
It was very
you know.
sad. And yeah, once again, lovely people in Fort Mac. It was a great show.
You just didn't like the nature decor.
The decor, yeah, just dude.
That's very much like Sudbury for me. Like I didn't. To be fair, I didn't like a lot of the people there either. But I just lived there for a few months when I was 21, I guess, around.
Right.
It was just rocks everywhere and coming from Ottawa, it was a big step down as far as like just population and how far you have to travel from one place to the other and all that. Yeah. Not my jam. I was happy to come back.
And a lot of these towns, like, it's just the oil industry or whatever, like,
it's mining up there.
Mining or whatever, automotive industry. A lot of these towns are just built for that purpose. There's nothing else to do. Everything's bleak.
Yeah. Isn't that weird to grow up in a city where like a massive part of the population does the same thing? I find that interesting. Like, oh, well, this is a fishing town, or this is the town where everybody works at the nuclear plant, or like,
well, people
or
move
Amazon
there.
these days.
People, I get, like, that's what makes a city, right? Because these people, like, I like working in this industry. I don't mind it. Dude, those people make a lot of money. Their towns are just shit. They're dog shit. It's depressing. They're just like little gray buildings. Everything's gray, bleak. There was a blood stain on the carpet in my hotel room. Ugh. Right, like legit. I have pictures. Actually, do you want to see the picture?
Sure. Yeah, throw it up if you put it.
Well, yeah, you could. I'll
send it to me after, and I'll put it up.
Throw it up.
Yeah,
It's
and then I'll throw up.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's very clearly blood. It can't be Kool-Aid. Like, it looks like something thick, like just on the carpet, on a blue carpet.
And blood should have like a brownish tinge to it.
It had all the signs of blood.
And then you got to wonder where the blood, like what kind, is this fight blood? Is this sex blood?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a weird term, sex blood. But
it was like a puddle like this big of blood.
It could have been both. It could have been a sexy fight.
Yeah, I looked at that and I'm like, I'm not crowd working in this town, dude. I'm not.
That's sketch factor.
Chirping anybody.
Oh man.
So the road is, and then sometimes your bookers will pay you whatever. Here's however many $100, not 100, fucking more than that, but whatever your amount is, you just get paid that. But they don't care to promote the show or whatever. They have sponsors, so you just go and do a show for like 15 hammered fucking deranged people and a flat earther, and
and you're still getting paid, but it's not the greatest.
So the road is you have to really want to do comedy to do that. But if you want to do comedy, like in any industry, it's you like the challenges. I love that shit. It gets sad, but then I remind myself, I'm like, this is sick. Like, this is gonna make me better.
Yeah.
Or this is the experience. This is what you can tell people later on about.
Did you get crippling anxiety still when you go to do stand-up, or you're pretty much in a comfortable space now where you're going
I think I'm in a pretty comfortable state, but I get nervous still. I get anxious, but those are good nerves.
Yeah, okay.
I taught myself a long time ago that, you don't push the nerves away. Use the nerves. It means you're stoked. I just watched the movie Rush. Have you seen Rush? It's about like Formula One drivers, Liam Hemsworth. And it's a great movie.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was the other Hemsworth. This is the guy who played Thor. I thought Chris Hemsworth. He's in it, and he's playing like a Ferrari guy or something.
I think it's his brother. Maybe it's.
I
him.
can't remember. Yeah, but I think I've heard of it.
It's that they're F1 drivers who, and it was about their come up to rivals. It related a lot to stand up because they talked about how they're just outcasts from society. They do something very weird. They're in a different town every week. And the lower levels, you're not like a glamorous star. You're just racing for pennies. With all the performance anxiety, a lot of correlations to stand up. When I watch, stuff like that, I correlate it to what I do. And the guy, James Hunt, I believe, is the actual guy that he was playing based on a true story. And he was like a playboy, super charismatic, super, like ostentatious and showy. But then right before the race, right before he got in the car, he would just like start pacing. And then he would crouch down and puke, just yak his guts up before every show.
Really?
Every race. And then he would hop in the car and kill. And then
weird.
So this girl saw it. This charismatic playboy who has no care in the world, who knows he's the best at what he does, just start pacing and getting frantic and then puking. And she was like, what the hell? Is he all right? And then his team goes, that's just
the
means he's
routine.
stoked. He does that before every show or every race. And I was like, yeah, dude, I could relate to that. I'll start nervously pacing. You're running your bits through your head, your set, and you're getting your adrenaline up. It's like a fight or flight, right?
Yeah.
So you need that. You need those nerves. When I saw that, I was like, this is sick. This is, you need some anxiety.
To have that energy on stage. Yeah.
Yes. Because if you're too blasé, I don't know, some comics just have no care in the world and they go up and they also kill, but that works for their style.
Yeah.
For my style, it helps if I have a little edge. I get people to shit talk me before my shows.
Really? You asked them to?
Yeah, I need therapy, dude. I can't afford therapy. I just play PlayStation online and trick my friends into talking about feelings, dude, and they'll just be like, dude, you're gay, shut up. But I get people to shit talk like the doorman at the clubs, and they'll be like, oh man, you're gonna kill it. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Just say I'm dog shit. Say I'm gonna eat it tonight. Cause then it gets me riled up.
So
I don't
you have
know.
someone to overcome.
It pumps me up, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's like yeah.
Well, to be fair, if you tell anyone like, "Oh, you're gonna do so good," I hate that. I think no matter if it's comedy or whatever, it's like a jinx almost, right?
Yeah.
It's like, knock on wood or whatever.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's a jinx.
That's why the traditional theater is break a leg.
Right.
Who were we talking? Oh, Vic was telling us about that though. That he said it was because back in the day, the theaters, the people would pound on the stage or whatever if they really liked it, and I guess if they did it enough, the stage leg would break, and that's what he told us. This is a guy we had on.
That's right. He said that.
That was
I'd
after we stopped
forgotten that.
recording. That was like before he left or whatever.
Yeah, I'd forgot that, but I always assumed it was more in the vein of what you guys are talking about. You don't want to wish somebody good luck, and so you do the opposite. You say break a leg, break a fucking leg, and then they'll kill,
like a reverse curse.
Reverse psychology works well on me.
Yeah,
my parents wanted me to be a good Muslim, and I didn't. If they were just like, yeah, here's a religion, but it kind of sucks, I'd be like, fuck you, mom and dad. I'm gonna be the most.
You find all the great things about it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look at a woman my entire life. I'm not gonna even sniff booze. Yeah, I just work on reverse psychology, I guess.
That starts in the teenage years, I think, with almost all teenagers. You don't want to do whatever your parents.
Yes.
You always do the opposite. Like,
yeah.
If my parents would have smoked like cigarettes, I don't think I ever would have started.
Yes.
But instead, they were both clean cut in that regard. I mean, my mom used to smoke before she had kids and shit. But,
right.
So to me, that was like appealing and dangerous and mysterious. And I started smoking when I was like 13.
That is true.
Weed and drinking, all that stuff, because it was the bad thing to do. But if my parents had been alcoholic chain smokers, I'm pretty sure I would have been going to class every day to, come out of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Be the lotus flower coming out of the...
Instead, we were clean. We got good educations. We held steady
Gave
jobs.
Me all the opportunities in the world.
You guys...
I should have fucked my own life up so you'd have a great life. Sorry about that.
I think I turned out all right in the end.
This is your fault for giving us a good life and upbringing.
Oh, I gave my parents some scares over the years, I'm sure, with just partying too hard. That was my only thing. I never got like in trouble with the cops.
Right.
I never got in fights. I just indulged in substances a lot.
Yeah.
And not like crack or anything, but like, I experimented a lot and I smoked a lot of weed.
Why the fuck not? Why not?
Well, I would say going back, I agree. I think that experimenting with stuff like that is not bad, but while you have a developing brain, I think I would have held off to maybe my 20s just based on newer studies and stuff.
Right.
And of course, now having a 13-year-old, I'm like, yo, you're not doing that shit until you're like fucking 21.
That is true. Like, yeah.
While I'm vaping.
Yeah. Well, yeah, people like the weed people are fun. They're so fun. They're like, yeah, it's a natural, it's a plant. I'm like, this 13-year-old is smoking something called the anal roaster right now.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to help him be a good person when he grows up.
Yeah.
Or a fully developed person.
What's this called? Psycho train ride?
Yeah. Psycho train, yeah. This one is called You Will Have Schizophrenia in 4 years. I only smoked that schizo, bro.
Yo, it's Kill Your Parents OG Kush or whatever. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that at the... Killer Kush, yeah. The younger age, I think maybe hold off. That's sort of looking back in retrospect. But I think that's also part of just growing up. I think that there's that whole do as I say, not as I do. That's like every parent, you know, they're like drinking a beer and they're like, I better not catch you drinking, that kind of shit. You know, it's different phases in your life or whatever. But I don't know. Yeah. Every family's different too. Every person's got a different experience.
Yeah.
Did you party a lot like that or no?
I do.
You do still?
Yeah, I do still. Yeah. I'm in my
psychedelics
phase. No, not really. I'm an anxious person, so I can't.
It can help with that very much.
Yeah, I don't.
Mushrooms?
The whole thing is like, yeah, hey man, take 5 grams of mushrooms and sit in the forest.
Oh, I was gonna say microdosing, actually, taking small amounts you don't even feel. But
I've tried that.
Yeah, they say that can help with anxiety and depression and stuff. And
right.
Yeah, I won't comment, but
I mean, I know people who are like, what's it called, like a god dose or some crazy shit. Like,
yeah, there's that approach too. Some people say like, go lose your mind and
your demons right on,
like ayahuasca or something like that.
Yeah, and then you see your monsters, and then you get through it. And I'm like, no, my monsters are tucked away. Can I just? They're locked up. Why do I want to release?
Well, it's supposed to be that in the end, it ends up being like a positive thing in the long run. You know, it's hard to go through, and I mean, I don't know. I've never done ayahuasca, but all the documentaries I've watched, in the end, people seem to say, "I'm glad I did it."
Right.
Even though they went to hell and back or whatever, coming out of it, they're like reborn. You learn to love yourself again. That's what a lot of people say, that you get back in touch with like, you know, getting through all your insecurities and really just loving yourself. And, you know, forgiveness is a big part. I don't know.
I mean, I see the logic in it. You see all your fears in the worst way possible. All your anxiety manifested. Not just in the back of your head. Now you're facing them, right? Yeah. You're like, I'm a fucking disappointment to my parents. Now the disappointment manifests itself as a fucking goblin. And
some shamans next to you.
And the fucking Ant-Man crawling up your penis. And you're like, oh no, my fear is crawling up my penis and exploding. And then you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. I meditate a lot, and it's the same thing. It's not the same thing, but it's, you know, you meditate and you let your thoughts come to you, and you don't try to push them, and you don't try to indulge in them. You just look at them.
You let them like clouds passing in the sky.
Exactly, cloud. Like they're almost like, in my mind, it's almost like cue cards, like fucking coming up to me.
Don't judge them though.
Yeah. Don't judge them. Well, don't judge yourself
for having those
thoughts. Like, you can judge them in the way, like,
it's like if you're driving in a car and you think about just like, yo, I could fucking just drive into this tree right now. Yeah. Everyone has that thought.
Yeah, the Bill Burr bit where he's like,
I've heard it.
And you're like,
I forgot about that, but I'm sure I've heard the bit at some point.
Oh yeah. So, but you like look at your thoughts and your anxieties and your fears, and then when you just observe them from a neutral perspective instead of indulging in them or pushing them away, you realize this is stupid. And
don't put so much stock into them.
Don't put like everything. You know, like, I go by a bunch of mottos, or I try to remind myself these mottos, and one of it is just, you know, don't sweat the small stuff. Also, everything is the small stuff. It's all the small stuff. Literally everything. Like, we're gonna die.
Yeah. One day nothing's gonna matter. Even the most important thing you're stressing so hard about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, tomorrow you can die. You're not gonna be stressing about 90% of this shit, right? Like, oh, I had an awkward handshake the other day.
Well, and so much of the stuff we think and stress about never even happens, like daily anxieties and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of anxieties, you know, my anxieties come from just, am I a piece of shit? Am I doing life correctly?
Yeah.
You know,
am I bringing value to the world?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or am I going to make it? You know, the whole thing of, is my family proud of me? Like,
but identifying that your thoughts are not necessarily a representation of who you really are is super important. Like, I have OCD and anxiety through the roof, and you know, so I've had a lot of intrusive thoughts, and that's a huge thing too, is when you're having thoughts that you don't want to have, and then you start fixating on that, and then they obviously don't go away.
Right.
So like, for example, I'll be like working out and lifting dumbbells, and I'll have like a vision of dropping the dumbbell on my face by accident, just like caving in my skull. And then I'll have that image, and I'm like, oh, that's fucked up. You know, but you have to realize, okay, well, am I fucked up because I envision that? No, I don't want to smash a skull. It's certainly not my own while working out. Right. But, you know, why is that in there? You could judge that and pick it apart and go like, is that some weird subconscious thing? Does that mean I'm like, you know, why am I thinking about skulls getting, you know, so you can unravel pretty quickly, but that's why it's so key to go, okay, everyone's thoughts are weird. everyone has weird dreams, and I mean, some are probably weirder than others, I'm sure.
Sure.
But that's not that weird, I don't think. Looking back on moments like that, I'm like, whatever,
Yeah.
I watched too much of The Boys the night before, and people's heads exploding.
Yeah.
That's probably
Well,
what.
why am I having these gruesome thoughts, and then you just watch the penis episode of The Boys?
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. It
So-
could be anything. It doesn't have to be violent necessarily, but
Right.
But yeah, it's something that I think is so key to that meditation approach. And
And then you're like, you just judge yourself. You put your esteem lower. Am I messed up? Am I a weird person?
And it's all just the ego. It's like not
ego.
even really who we are
Yes.
deep down, which is something I'm not trying to speak as if I'm so wise in this sense. I know
Right.
I've read these things and heard about these things, but I suck at actually implementing them in
Yes.
my own life. I'm very ego driven. I want to be less ego
Same.
driven.
I think me and you are very similar like that. Like we know this stuff, but it's hard to implement. But we got to give ourselves credit because we try to. Like you are implementing.
we're talking
more.
about it right now.
You seem in your head you don't think so, but you seem like a mindful person, a very aware person, not
Thank
too
you.
much in your thoughts. So
I feel like that's the highest compliment. So
that
thank
it,
you.
yeah, that, absolutely, man. And
It's not accurate. I am very much in my own thoughts, but
that it's the same way here, man.
I'm glad to hear it comes off that way.
That's the thing. So you don't realize it, but it's working. And so I've been trying to like jot down, like I keep a journal and I'll write it down, like because sometimes I'll be like, why do I have to like constantly meditate and read these? Like I'll read books on philosophy and things that'll help my mentality, this mentality, and then I'm like, it's not working because I constantly need to do it to feel good. Am I not taking anything away? But then you have to be like, it is working. It's not going to be boom in front of your eyes constantly. But the fact that you're doing it and you're thinking about whether or not you're implementing it is implementing it.
That's like the first step.
That's
yeah,
the first step.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it works. It works very subtly.
I know, but aren't you so jealous of like people
Yes.
who are so blissfully ignorant? Whenever I see people who are just like, you're like, oh, okay, that guy's operating on a pretty low IQ there, but it looks like kind of peaceful, when people are just like, no, I'm gonna watch the game, have my burger, and like whatever, maybe that's a weird example, but just people who seem so happy, but because they're not doing what we're doing, which is like nitpicking every
Overanalyze.
goddamn
Yep.
angle of our existence at every moment, constantly.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I've drank in the past is just to slow my fucking brain down.
That's what I
alcohol
drink,
just kind of everything kind of feels. I'm like, oh, is this how people feel? Like normally, most people. Fuck, it must be blissful to just wake up and be like not having a million. I don't want to say voices in my head because I'm not talking like schizophrenic voices, but my own stupid voice going on about every goddamn little thing,
100% the same. Yeah, and
it's
I
probably
I
a lot
do
of
get
comedians,
jealous.
I would assume.
I would believe. Well, this career brings it on a lot too, right? The anxiety. If I had one of my biggest anxieties, also that a reoccurring anxiety, like a thought, is just like, am I gonna be broke tomorrow? Am I throwing my life away? It's this career. If you had like a good 9-to-5 job where you're climbing steadily
With like a retirement plan.
retirement
and all.
security, this industry has no security.
Yeah,
So
very true.
you're gonna you like anxiety is a given. You will have to put up with it
Yeah.
because you don't know. Especially if you're a full-time comic, then if you don't book one, you need 4. Just as an example, 4 weekends or 4 big shows or whatever to just pay your bills that month. If you only have 2 and the first of the month is tomorrow, you're like, what the fuck am I doing? And then so it starts from, I'm going to be broke this month. Then you're like, well, am I going to be broke the rest of my life? Well, should I have just taken the other job and just made good money by now and be a respectable part of society? Am I throwing my life away? Just this loop continues and continues. Am I not good enough of a comic to book? You could just come off tour and then just the next day you're like, well, I don't have gigs for next week, so am I a failure?
And there's so much competition.
There's competition, but there's also just like the ego thing. There's like imposter syndrome. There's all of it. Like, you gotta.
But I mean, that just adds to it knowing that if you don't go for that stage time, it's gonna get eaten up by someone else real quick. Like
Right. But I'm trying to teach myself to stray away from that. Trying to like know your own worth.
Definitely.
Because that type of thinking, and I've I have that type of thinking, it doesn't help because then it leads to jealousy and hatred.
Yeah.
Do you see anybody?
Pettiness.
They're like, they're not as good as me. Why did they get this big thing?
I'm sure there's a lot of touring comics when they're first coming up before they have their big break or whatever that they have like a spouse who's working full time. You know, that's got to be the situation in a lot of them.
Probably, yeah. A lot of them have.
And that might take some of that pressure off if your spouse is like, I believe in you. I work 9 to 5 as a dentist. You go on tour. I believe in your dreams. Like there are those dynamics, and
that's true.
You know?
I mean, I have a girlfriend. She's very loving and supportive. But I mean, I'm not.
You're not expecting her to
no. She
pay
makes
the
her
bills.
money.
Yeah.
I make. We have a very 50-50. We live together, but we split the rent. If I don't have the rent that month, she's gonna be like, you better have your fucking rent. But at the same time, she's very supportive. So it's not like I don't really have things to fall back on. I mean, I have
the graphic design stuff.
Yeah, I guess you can go. That's the thing.
That's a skill, man. You can make mad money doing that.
You have to just remind yourself that you'll be okay. Everything will be okay. That's the thing. But you like don't give up on the fucking dream. Like,
you're not that shy kid anymore. You know.
Yeah, exactly. You can just
look how far you've come. You know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the better way to look at stuff. Is that kind of cup half full.
Yes.
Again, not something I'm very good at, but something that I recognize.
Dude,
I
you
should
know
be
all
doing
the things.
more of.
You know.
You
read the same shit I read.
I should be doing yoga. I should be doing
know.
all this shit that I do. I work out at least. That's about
Working
it.
out is meditation.
Yeah, that's huge for me.
But like you said, like you compare yourself to your old past and you just go from there. Like don't compare yourself to others. Look at how far you've come individually.
But you have the same mindset, I think, as a lot of people, and myself included, where like I don't really let myself enjoy the accomplishments at all. I constantly move the goalpost. So it's like, like sometimes I stop and I go, even just with this show, and I go back to, I'll look at some photo from like, I guess 3 years ago is before this show even.
Yeah.
And then I start looking at like, just through my YouTube channel, and I don't have tons of views on a lot of my episodes, but just some of the people I've been able to speak with, I'm like, why can't I go back into 2015 and tell that version of me, like, look at this?
Yeah.
And because it's happening incrementally, you kind of grow with it, and it's hard to put yourself back in those shoes of where you were before, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And really soak it in and absorb it, but also like be proud of yourself, And I guess I don't like being proud. I like to try to keep it humble, and which is a weird thing to brag about.
Yeah, humble.
I like to be really humble.
Yeah, I'm a big
super
humble
modest,
guy.
actually.
Big humble guy over here. Get the fuck out of my way. Big humble coming through.
Yeah, I don't mean to say it in that sense. More just that like I'm uncomfortable with accepting a lot of appreciation or adoration. Like if I did a really good musical performance and people are real, I don't like a lot of compliments. It makes me kind of uncomfortable, I think.
Right.
Deep down, I'm happy. I'm like, yeah, I did good.
Yeah.
I don't really, I feel uncomfortable with that kind of spotlight.
I feel that. I definitely feel it. You don't, like you said, the moving the goalpost thing is so true. You're never happy. And
I'm never good enough for myself.
Entertainment, you can't reach the goalpost ever. There is no goalpost.
Really, yeah.
In entertainment, because, I listen to all these big New York and LA comics podcasts, dudes you've seen on Netflix, and have millions of subscribers. They probably make a lot of money, and all the names you're thinking of is who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I listened to the podcast, and they were talking about, like, on multiple different podcasts, it talks about how you're never satisfied in comedy. The convo would start out by, like, hating on some other comic or type of comedy, and then be like, they got the Netflix, and then be like, I just got a Netflix, so I'm never happy. I just want the next thing. I want what they have.
Yeah.
So it's like, to us, that is the ultimate goal. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
but as soon as you get there, then
big in New York comic with like a million monthly listeners and 2 Netflix specials, and
it's weird too, because when we look at the cases of the people that go on to be like uber stars, their lives don't really seem very fucking enjoyable. It starts to go the other way, where it's like, I wouldn't want to be fucking Justin Bieber or like Kim Kardashian or any of these fucking people. I think that would be a terrible existence. I don't care how much money and shit they have. Like, having that much influence over people would be the first part I would hate. Especially if I was feeling like I shouldn't, like if you're fucking Gandhi, sure, have influence, like spread your word, what's up, you got some important shit to say. But if I was just famous for being a comedian or an actor or something, I wouldn't want everyone to give a shit about what I feel about this, that, and the other thing,
I feel like this seems braggadocious as well, but like we're too like self-aware to be an influencer like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe just too anxious. You're like, I'm an idiot. How am I going to tell these people what to do? I'm an idiot. You just said you're an idiot before telling me any piece of mindfulness learnings that you like. I'm a piece of shit. I'm anxious, but this is what I read.
But what a weird time to live in, right? Where like back in the day, like use Gandhi as an example, or even further back or whatever. But if you wanted to get to that point where you were speaking and you had that kind of a platform, you really had to have something uber talented or super important to say or whatever, because otherwise you wouldn't fucking get that platform. And now you can get a huge platform being a complete moron in some cases. And I don't know what that does for our world.
Yeah, it definitely has muddied up comedy, but it also...
I don't mean just comedy. I mean like the world at large. Like just the fact that the people who have influence are people who maybe shouldn't have influence, you know?
Yeah, it's just... that's a good point. Idiots having influence over other... Dude, I just watched... Do you know the show Futurama?
Yeah, of course.
It's an amazing show. Like
Very
the writing in that show is so witty and
I think they just
smart.
brought it back or something again.
No way.
They revived it, or they're
That's
going
amazing.
to start making new episodes.
So I watched an episode from 2010 where they're making fun of the iPhone, but they add like a whole story where like this evil mom, she calls herself mom. She like is a owner of a giant corporation.
Oh yeah, I know. Who
And she
you're talking about.
came out with the iPhone in the futuristic world of Futurama, where you put it in your eye and whatever. And this is 2010, and she was like, she had this whole devious plan of like, first of all, just knowing every piece of information. She's like, look at these idiots, they're giving me everything about their lives. I have all of their information. But this is 2010. We do that so much more now.
Yeah.
And then she was like, look at these. I just got one of the morons to have a million other morons follow him. And she's like, they're like, that's great, but how does this help us? Like, now I don't need to brainwash the million individually. I could just get to this guy. She was like, if I could just sell
And it'll
him,
trickle down.
Yeah, or like use him to market to them, or trickle down, or just
It's like predicting the future. That's exactly what's going on.
Well,
there.
it's all of the and they were just alluding to like capitalism and companies using influencers in 2010, mind you.
Yeah.
And they were like, Bender and Fry became like Twitter influencers, and they were talking about they're going
Memes
to
and
use
shit.
them, and I can make them sell whatever or buy whatever I want them to buy. And so they were just talking about capital. That's all that an influencer is. You have 1 million followers, you make money up because you get brand deals, and they just hawk this fucking bathwater or whatever, you know. They talked about it then, which is amazing. And so, yeah, these people are just spreading stupidity and just mindlessly hawking products. But, I mean, also, who gives a fuck?
Well, it happened so fast. I feel like the way that the world changed, like even in the last, I don't know, 15 years, let's say, that would be what, 2007 or something. That was a very different world. Like the smartphones just, I don't know, man. It's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
It really changed things in a way that I don't know that I really care for, but maybe that makes me sound old as fuck, I'm sure. But, you know, I was
How old
okay.
are you?
36.
36?
Yeah. So I was born in 85.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of smartphones. Well, it's just so much input, so much stimulus for useless stimulus.
Well, and no one
You're
cares
bombarding-
anymore about like privacy too. That was the other thing. Like Google Home still weirds me out.
Yeah.
Like, and they have it at their place. I guess you guys are just older. You don't give a shit anymore.
There's some truth to that, because sometimes, I don't know.
Does it weird you out ever having it in there?
Once in a while I go, so I don't think they're listening to everybody all the time. Not a human being, but there are programs.
Algorithms and
There are
stuff.
programs run by algorithms that I think are not just keying on the core phrase. I used to think that I didn't, I wasn't planning on doing anything criminal. It's like when people get weird about giving up their fingerprints or something like that.
Yeah.
I go, well, I'm not planning to commit any crime, so
bank
what
or
do I
something.
give a shit if they have my fingerprints?
Right.
But on the other hand, I think it is a slippery slope, but the change, like with social media, and I agree, it's huge, right?
Yeah.
But one day there wasn't an internet. I was there when the internet started. That was fucking huge. having the World Wide Web was huge. I mean, it changed everything within a year at work.
You're talking about like early 90s?
Early 90s. Yeah. But I was also there when the PC first came out.
That's what, 80s then?
Having a personal computer, of your own in your basement that could actually do stuff. That was amazing. So my point is, it's like
every
you turning into your dad,
right.
into your grandfather. Every generation is going to have new technologies, new devices that are going to go, oh my God, this is going to change the world. And you know what? It does change the world. But the world keeps changing.
Yes.
That's it. It's not going to stop.
The only thing you have power over is your own mind. So your own perspective on it, you change.
But we don't even have fully power over that in the respect that smartphones are almost a commodity that you have to accept if you want to be part of society now. And we know.
And then those influence you heavy.
Well, yeah, especially social media and stuff. We know from people that used to work in those corporations like Facebook and stuff like that, that they're literally designed to be like these dopamine stimulants. The whole scrolling, I heard a whole thing about the scrolling was a huge advancement for them when they decided to come up with that, because back in Facebook's heyday, you had to click the little arrow and scroll up. And when they realized, oh, let's just scroll like this, it's the same mentality as the slot machines and stuff. It's well, maybe the next thing will be interesting.
Now
just keep trying a little bit longer. And it's proven to be manipulation,
10 seconds, 10-second dopamine rush.
The TikTok stuff is a whole other thing. I couldn't believe that people didn't see what was happening more. And it made me feel really old to go does no one notice that attention spans are getting shorter drastically quickly?
Yeah.
It's not even subtle. It's 5 years ago people had way more attention, and now everyone's
everybody's
a
on
lab rat.
amphetamines now just to
it's fucked, man.
Text their mom. You have to take a Ritalin.
That's one of the reasons I love doing this show. It's just fucking put the phone away and just talk and chill and look someone in the eyes and make a new friend and learn some shit.
Like you said, the technologies change and you have to just adapt to it. Sure. But I do agree with your point that it is getting shittier. But I mean, that shouldn't depress you. You find your own ways to adapt and be happy.
Maybe it's because I have kids, right? So I'm already thinking about what kind of world are they going to be in when they're my age now.
Well, dude, I'm thinking about what kind of world I'm going to be in 10, 20 years from now. And, in entertainment, you have to be on your phone. You have to post content.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, you're connected to everybody in the world, but you don't have any real connection with a single person. Nobody gives a fuck about you. You have a million people on your phone. You care about what they think. You're looking at what they're doing, all their highlights.
Yeah.
Instantly, that you're I should be doing that. I should be tweeting. I should be in fucking Bali right now.
It's all comparisons.
It's all comparisons. And products, I should have that. I should have that. And bad news. They're getting bombed. They're getting bombed. They're getting killed. Just constant barrage of negative stimulation. So much information. I don't think our brains are designed for that.
No, there's really not a lot of positive stuff out there other than cat videos.
Well, there is positive, but just our brains aren't designed to take in so much constant information. That's why we try to quiet ourselves.
We've even talked about before on this show, the editing trends that you see in YouTube and stuff is now it's always if you watch someone do an intro for a podcast they recorded, let's just say I do that sometimes after I do a Zoom interview, people will be so my guest this week was cut. And he came in and cut. And it's they cut every 5 seconds. You can't get through a take.
So my guest today was...
it's so obvious, exactly. Yeah. And I pride myself on anyone go watch any of these episodes. Sometimes it takes me 40 minutes. I think the longest it ever took me was an hour because I'm a bit... I'm OCD and I just want to put out a good program, but I'll do these intros and clap and I try to do it all in one take. And if I can't, I start over again.
Right.
Kind of just develop a little script for myself while I'm doing it. And so every single intro, if you go and watch them, they're all one take.
One take.
Or not one take rather, but
one piece.
No cut. Yeah, it was 50 takes in some cases. But
Jesus,
but that makes me sound a little nuts maybe, but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to put out shit. And also when I'm doing an intro for somebody, I feel like I really want to do justice to that guest that spent their time with me.
Right.
Very similar to when I'm writing up the bio for not the bio, but the YouTube blurb, what this episode is about.
Right.
I always come down here thinking or I'll tell Kelly I'll be done editing. I'm going to just post this episode. And it always takes me an hour because I don't know. I want to write the perfect little paragraph about somebody to really honor that person who spent their time with me. And shit. So We'll see what I come up with for you. I don't know.
I
Hopefully.
appreciate that. Don't put that much time into it.
Yeah.
Don't tell him I'm 37 years old.
Yeah, that's my bad. I'm sorry.
No, it's all
I didn't think you were 36, thank you. But no, I thought like maybe early 30s.
Dude, you look amazing.
Well, thank
You
you.
look amazing. I thought you were 25.
No way.
Yeah. I knew you weren't 25, but I thought maybe like 28 or something. But
Damn, man.
knew
I
you
would have
were a bit
been,
older.
how old then when I had math? I would be like 15 when I had my son. No.
Possible.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you. I try to stay healthy. I'll show you, actually. I've talked about it on the show and I've shown it a couple times, but there's a picture of me from when I was about 23 or 24 and I weighed like 30 pounds more than I do. I look older in that photo than I do now, for sure.
That seems to be a trend with a lot of men. If you know the thing of men age like wine.
I think it's because in your 20s as a guy, you just drink your face off and eat shitty food, relying on that metabolism, and then it kind of just peters out, and you don't have like a regimen set up for fitness. Or I surely do.
You have too much energy, you stay up all night, and then when you're older, you're like, my shoulder hurts if I stay up past 10.
Yeah, exactly.
It's starting to happen to me. I'm
so maybe I
25.
should move this thing around.
So like I'm gonna sleep now.
Yeah.
And so you get a good night's sleep.
Oh, sleep is so important.
Sleep helps with the mental as well. That's a big thing that
Definitely.
I neglect all the time. But
Apparently, sleep is really paramount to fitness and health stuff too.
Yeah.
They say that like even if you're working out really well and eating really well, if you're not sleeping well, you're gonna have a real hard time reaching your goals. And
yeah, absolutely, dude. The thing you were talking about that applies to me as well, where you wake up and it's a million racing thoughts, like voices in my head. I should be doing this. I should be doing this. What am I doing? I suck. This, that, whatever. There's a fire in Fort McMurray.
Yeah.
For some reason that's there. And when you get a good sleep, I notice that's nullified so much. Like
it takes longer for it to
kick in, and I'm like, I'm in the moment right now. I just woke up. I'm like, this is good. I don't care about what other people are doing, what TikTok's doing. I don't care about anything. I know what I have to do. I'm gonna meditate, try to read a couple pages of a book, and then I'll just edit my video that I'm gonna post today. And I'm not gonna get bummed out. On a bad day, I just start getting bummed out. The algorithm sucks. The shitty internet world.
Yeah.
I'm not TikTok famous yet. My videos didn't get views.
The worst is seeing people who have tons of followers and views that
Yes.
are complete dipshits putting out
Oh,
garbage.
absolutely.
That's what really gets
that
me.
hinders you, and then you're just stuck in that.
Seeing
and you're
someone
not-
great that I respect
Yeah.
doing well, I'm like, oh yeah, I see it. The Rock
Yeah.
or whoever, I
Right.
I get it. But sometimes you say, well, I don't know. He seems like a nice
Out
guy.
of all of it. What are you, 5 years old, dude?
I don't even like wrestling that much, but The Rock, I actually like him from his acting and stuff. He seems like a good dude. I don't know.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I
mean,
could have
you
picked
could've
anyone, but
anyone, but you go with The Rock.
I guess it was kind of a random pull. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But yeah, you look at the people, but then I just get unproductive. You don't do your own process, and you're stuck on that. You move slower. You're sluggish. You don't know what to do.
yeah.
Should I make a skit right now? Should I edit my stand-up video?
Starting doing anything is the most important part. Just fucking
but
starting.
But
Anything.
when you get your mind clear of all this bullshit about giving a fuck about what other people are doing and who has how many followers, and you're like, I know I have to put my podcast out in your case, or put my video out, so I'm just gonna edit my video. Like sit down and just edit my video and put it out, and not be result oriented. Just be process oriented.
Just do the thing.
Do it. Enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Have fun editing this video. Once you're done that, what's the next thing?
That's the real secret, though, right? Is enjoying the process.
Yeah.
When we're talking about people who like pushing the goalpost and never really being satisfied, I think that's the secret. Is you can keep pushing the goalpost. That's good as well because success is good and challenging yourself is good. But trying to enjoy the process is the real magical secret of it all.
I think that's the secret of secret
life.
of life
Yeah.
is life is just a process. If you're always, I get a lot of this from like I'm into Stoicism, and I read a lot of I'm reading Seneca's book right now. He was I think a Roman senator, philosopher, playwright guy. But he wrote all of this stuff we're talking about. He mentioned in the book, and he gives advice to his friends. They're like letters he wrote to his friend. These guys are like philosophers, and the whole idea of Stoicism is just to, first of all, be grateful for what you have and eliminate desires. Not like you shouldn't have ambitions. I mean, this guy was a senator, a playwright. He was very accomplished. But desires as in always wanting. Just know that, all right, you want to be a stand-up comedian, then, all right, I got to write jokes. So just stop always, I want Netflix now. I want just for laughs. Try to curb that and just enjoy the process. They talk about that, and there's talk about being in the moment and silencing your brain. The biggest thing they talk about is just like wants, like desires. Is the detriment. It's gonna ruin you. It's gonna ruin everybody. Like just
that's a big part of Buddhism and stuff too.
It's very similar. Stoicism. I just haven't gone into Buddhism, but Stoicism, Buddhism, Taoism. These three are very related. They have very similar. Like so in this book, this guy wrote. Ryan Holiday, I think his name is. He has a book called "The Obstacle Is the Way." He has a couple books. They're good. They're like philosophy light. Okay. He puts it in simple terms, and then you ask some academic, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, this book is for idiots," but it's a good book. It's very simply put. It's not overly poetic or complicated. Up it's in its ass. Like the guy does a great job. He's great. He has this page called The Daily Stoic on YouTube and Instagram, and he's super popular. I think people hate on him just because he's popular, but great advice.
That's pretty casual.
It's like one of the few good things on my feed every day that he just has these quotes or like lessons from the books. So he quotes a lot of like Buddhists and Taoists and stuff in the book for a lot of his lessons. Like he'll be like, the chapter is about like I was just reading today. It was letting go of the results, not caring about results. A whole chapter, and the whole thing. So he gave an example. I think it was like some Buddhist guy who was like a pro archery teacher. Maybe he wasn't Buddhist. I'm just overlapping things. But he was a pro archer, and he had like an archery school. And he would just have students come in, and he would just make them shoot arrows into like a haystack or like into just the forest for like hours and days and weeks and months on end. No target. Just getting to know the process and enjoying what you're doing, not worrying about whether or not I'm going to hit it. And then once you're done that, then you start target practice. If you hit the target, good. It doesn't fucking matter. Load up the next one. If you miss the target, good. Doesn't matter. Load up the next one. So you don't, you enjoy the process, not let go of the result.
Outcome.
Detach yourself from the outcome. Because also what you're living in the future now. Like you're by definition not being in the moment. Not being in the
present.
moment. You're not enjoying what you're doing right now. So
it's so hard to do, though.
It is hard.
I struggle with that. I know that's the key, is being present.
Yeah.
And I want to so bad, but it is hard not to be either worried about what's might take place, anxiety in general, or being stressed about something that's happened in the past that you want to rectify. And in some cases you can do that, and that's why I also think there is value to that. So sometimes you can't be in the present all the time, because if I never thought, hey, that guy, I was kind of an asshole to him, I'm going to call him up and bring that into my present. But I needed to reach into the past to get there. So,
right. I think,
preparing for the future can sometimes be equally,
If you were fully mindful and aware in your body the whole time, in the moment, you would not be human. You'd just be like a cat or a dog. Or
like an angel or something.
A lot of animals are just... The reason humans need to meditate is because we're like neurotically thinking creatures. Animals don't do that. Animals aren't like, hey, remember that tiger that attacked me the other day? They're chilling. That's why cats...
Some animals, I think dolphins and shit, maybe.
They're smart, but in general, I'm just talking about, you'd be like large, a fucking, a cat. Like, cats just chill.
It's all instinct.
But, so you need to... analyze and all that, but...
Well, and like the cats and the animals that are all instinct-driven, I feel that way when I see some certain people, and I'm kind of jealous of it. There are people that live their lives like a cat. And maybe not that literally shitting in a box or anything, but I mean like people that I see and they go like, oh, he has like what like an animal might have, where he doesn't seem concerned with all the shit I worry about. And he's just kind of focused on like, I go here, get some food, I go home.
Right. They're not. I know you're giving the example of like, the dumb fucking beer belly sports fan. Yeah. But some of these people are very intelligent, very smart. Like I know a lot of comedians like that.
Yeah.
and they're a blast. Like they're a lot of intelligent people, but they're just super. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like not caring.
I'm so envious of that.
I am envious too.
Yeah, because you're right. I shouldn't be painting it always as like dumb fucks. Because
Right.
there are people I know that are intelligent, and maybe that's even more intelligent. Maybe they're the smartest people
There
because
is
they
like
can
ignorance
access.
is bliss, right? So there's like ignorant people who are blissful because they're just too dumb to know, and then there's also not caring about the small stuff type of people who just don't, who know nothing matters. So I'm just gonna have a good time right now.
Yeah.
Why am I worried about in the back
Not
of
in
my
like a
head?
nihilistic way, but like, you know.
Well, yeah, people. Whenever I say people think I'm being nihilistic, but it's not. It almost makes that thought makes me so excited to be alive when I'm like nothing matters.
Yeah.
But people
But that's
look
not
at
nihilistic, though.
because
right?
nihilism is like essentially has the
It's
same
like nothing
concept.
matters. It's the
Yeah.
just a different way of saying it, right?
Right.
Essentially, nihilism is like, fuck I always equate nihilism somewhat to like anarchy. It's
Yeah.
sort of just chaos. It's like, well, nothing matters anyways. Might as well light the fucking place on fire.
Right.
Like Thanos was a nihilist.
Right, right.
You know?
I think it's the same idea, but nihilists are just using a stupid way.
Yeah.
Whereas like,
I don't claim to know the
Either,
definition
yeah.
here. I'll look it up later.
but I mean,
It'll probably be wrong.
it has a negative connotation. Nihilism
True,
is
yeah.
not good.
You're using it as like a positive
Yeah,
propellant.
like shut the fuck up, you pussy. You're sad because nothing matters. How does that make sense? Nothing matters, so you're sad? Go to a strip club then, asshole. What? Oh, nothing matters. We're all gonna die. Exactly. Take some Molly. Go to a festival with your girlfriend. Like party.
Or eat an ice cream cone.
All
or
right, I'm
something
sorry.
like
Yeah,
that.
go watch a movie, you fucking idiot.
No, for sure. I get the point.
Nothing.
Though.
All my effort is for nothing. No, your effort is you're having a good time achieving shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's that process.
Well, and what's the alternative to nothing matter? Everything matters. That's kind of like the heaven hell thing. Then go that route if that's what you want.
Everything matters
Where
is
you're
religion.
being graded like a fucking driver's test on
Yes.
every little decision you make in life. I
That's
don't like
the
that.
opposite.
That makes everything weird to me.
Yeah.
I feel like I went to Catholic school growing up, even though I wasn't Catholic. So there's a whole dynamic there where I felt like the black sheep when we would go to mass and stuff.
Yeah.
I was the only kid who wasn't baptized and whatever. But I still feel like a lot of that stuck with me. Just all the rules and all the the way they approach like sex stuff too. They're very like
I'm
tight
it's the
about
same
it,
shit.
but then it's like you're the one raping children, so you're gonna shame some guy because he jerked off, and then like it's just such a fucked up dynamic.
Yeah.
Not to just target that one church. All religions have issues.
Yeah,
but
it's the same in Islam.
that was how I grew up, and those were the things that I found very conflicting.
Right. Yeah,
Not that I knew about child rape, like when I was a kid in elementary school, no one came and told me about that. But nevertheless, I still, even in junior high or whatever, like you feel like there's this strict guilt shaming vibe about the whole thing. I did, at least.
absolutely. Like I said, dude, I grew up in a super religious family. So it's all shame.
Maybe that shame I
Religion
put
is-
on myself just because of the context of heaven and hell that they were telling me about.
No, it is
like if
shame.
you're
It is
bad, you
shame.
go here. Oh, what's bad? These things are bad.
It is that. Religion is, a lot of it is fear. But the fear, so here's the thing. My dad is a very, he seems like a very blissful person. He gets very stressed out, but still he seems like a stoic or a Buddhist at times, where he's, even growing up, he'd be like, it's all good. This doesn't matter. Nothing matters other than God. That's it. He'd just be like, nothing matters other than God. So religion solves this problem by just focusing on, you just have to worry about God. God told you what to do. Nothing else matters. So God is the only thing. So fear God. Do the things he tells you, and you're having a blast. So that's how my dad does it. Like, he's super, he prays 5 times a day, and that's essentially meditation. And in praying, they tell you that you empty your mind. It's the same thing as meditation.
Yeah.
Empty your mind and just focus on your word with God. That's it. So your mind is blank. All of anxieties come from like racing thoughts. But if you just know that the only thing that matters is getting to heaven and God, that's it. Then you're not anxious anymore. You have the answers.
Yeah. I think that could work with a lot of things, not even just religion, but if you have some primary driving force that you can just put yourself into 100%,
right?
You can just be so focused on driving that car all the time that you don't have to really observe what's going on around you. You're just like all the time.
Right.
Gotta get into heaven. Like,
Yeah.
It's almost like a denial thing, I feel like, to some degree for some people, where they're just like, nope. Like they just like, nope, I'm not going to think about that. No, that doesn't work with my mindset. Nope.
But you should, I feel like you shouldn't think of too much stuff. You should, I'm not going to think, no, I'm not going to think about it. Yeah. Not just religion. I'm saying religion does a similar thing. Like, just religion tackles the overthinking and anxiety thing by giving you the God reason.
Yeah.
And we, whatever we follow, Stoicism or just philosophy and shit, that they has more of a, nothing matters perspective, and we're just gonna die tomorrow anyway, so don't worry perspective. But in the end, you shouldn't care about shit.
Well, even atheists thinking, when you're dead, you're dead. I would feel like that would give me anxiety if I truly believed that with my core.
Right.
I think I would be like, well, stressing about that the whole time. Well, shit, once it's done forever. I'm never going to get to do anything ever again for the rest of existence.
Yeah.
I mean, taking a break for a while would be all right. I could go for a nap, but, I don't want to be never again, ever, anything, ever. That's what fucks with me.
That anxiety is nihilism. That's what nihilists are.
Well, they're using it in what way, though? Like
they're just like, fucking nothing matters, so
yeah.
I'm going to be sad. I think this is what nihilists
I thought nihilism is that essence, but then you're using that in a way outwardly where you're like being destructive. I don't know. What is the definition of nihilism?
I think nihilistic is just somebody who, I think they're just like overly obsessed with, nothing matters. Everything's going to...
The meaninglessness of it all.
So you focus on the meaninglessness instead of...
I feel like my dad's Googling here, so we might actually get a... Shit, man, this has gotten very philosophical.
I like it.
Same here, man. I love seeing where these podcasts go. You never
know. In my readings, like, they constantly talks about memento mori, remember death. So all of these thoughts that we have, this person has this many followers, and I've been putting in this much work, and I don't, and I have to make money. I don't know how I'm going to make money. Are these people proud of me? I had all the things, all the anxieties that me and you were talking about. Is the barbell gonna fucking drop on my face? So the memento mori is, it can drop on your face. So don't stress about. Just worry about what you can control. So remembering death, there's happiness, aka like if you're gonna die tomorrow, it instantly makes your mind singular. What's the one thing? What is the thing you would do if you knew you were gonna die tomorrow? Not in like I should get my affairs in order.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna die tomorrow. What would you do? And that really helped me when I was like, fuck, I would want to do stand up. I'd want to do stand up and barbecue with my family. I wouldn't give a fuck about online. I wouldn't give a fuck about how people perceive me.
Yeah.
I'd want to go up, make people laugh, drink beers with my buddies, maybe go to a lake. All of this could be accomplished in 24 hours.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, all right, so these are like my priorities. So I was like, all right, so stand up. Then I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do right now? Sit down and just write some stand up then. Because that's the main thing. You really find your priorities when you're like.
It's kind of how, or this is something that trips me out, is thinking about how like when somebody dies, especially if it's tragic, it's such a big deal, right?
Yeah.
It's like world shattering. And I'm not trying to take away from that. But then you think about people who died like 150 years ago.
Yeah.
Not that upsetting.
Not that upsetting.
No one who even knew them at the time is alive anymore. Like, it's just something about that is calming to me.
Yes.
Where I'm like, oh, you could go through the worst tragedy ever, but eventually it's just going to be a footnote in the existence of the universe, you know?
That is 100%. That's like in the Stoicism, in Marcus Aurelius, he was like a Roman emperor who had
that name I
meditations.
know, or I've heard.
Yeah, he's one of the 5, whatever,
Caesar's
good philosophers.
homeboys or something.
No, he was like, I don't know if he was a homeboy.
They're probably like hundreds of years apart. I don't know.
I think they might have been, but he was just like the one emperor who he just cared about justice and just literally living a good life, and so he has a journal. It's called Meditations, but it was just like his journal, his notes to himself, and they're beautiful. They're like profound. It's literally. So I read that this guy was alive 2,000 years ago.
That's nuts.
And he's going through the same anxious cycles of thinking that we go through. Literally, like he'll tell himself, "Why do you care about being remembered? Why do you care about what others think and the crowds? And then he goes into, think of all the people who died, and then think of the people who died before them and the civilizations who died before them. Think of all the people who wanted to be remembered, and then they died, and then the people who remembered them died, and then he's like, stop caring about that, and then just do what you have to do right now. That's it. Just do what is in front of you.
So that's how you fight nihilism, I think, is you're on the cusp of it. So nihilism is the rejection of all religious and moral principles in the belief that life is meaningless.
So you were kind of right.
Right?
Interesting.
However, the way you fight that, I think, and you're touching on it, why does anybody ever bother to write something down for other people or whatever? It's about making a contribution, not to you today, but to the future.
Passing valuable information or lessons.
Right. So life isn't meaningless if you're contributing to making life
but
better
if the
for
sun
someone
explodes
else.
one day, isn't it all kind of meaningless in that sense? Like that, like eventually 10 billion years from now, all of this will be very meaningless because unless we've exported ourselves to other planets and stuff. But even then, I feel like there's got to be an end eventually.
It doesn't even matter. You're going to die.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't matter. Why does it?
Along this vein, one thing I think is really interesting, I was talking to someone recently, is just the factors that have to go into, like, what's the way I want to say this? Like, who you will be alive at the same time as.
Right.
So, like, thinking about, there's certain people that just, they weren't alive. They had already died before you were born. And you guys, your life cycles didn't have any overlap.
Right.
So there's like people that might have been your best friend or like someone who would have been like the love of your life, but they just lived like 200 years ago. And I just think that's such a trip to think about, like all the people you'll never know, that just because your life chunks, whatever you want to call it, didn't have any overlap. No, not a chance. You'll never get to hang.
Does that thought not make you want to really
hang with everyone who's alive here now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
fuck yeah.
That's the counter to nihilism. That's the thing. It's like just why do anything? Why have morals? Is like, well, because the people around me make life worth living, and my goals make life worth living.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have a purpose. I'm gonna give myself.
That's why
a
there's
purpose.
no fucking better feeling, honest to God, than when you do something nice for someone for no reason and you can tell it means a lot to them.
Yeah.
It's like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, honestly. And if you've never felt it, well, then you're probably an asshole. Not to say that I go around, to soup kitchens every weekend or anything, but it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be some over-the-top gesture of like volunteering somewhere. It can just be being a nice fucking person and the little moments you can help people out. Or just,
being a friend to somebody for the sake of being a friend. Because like, I feel like humans, we're very communal, very social creatures. And it's all about the community.
Yeah, the tribe.
Yeah, the tribe. Like fucking bees or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The colony, I guess.
Colony.
Yeah.
And I mean, so yeah, if you help somebody, that feels great. And yeah, I've been trying to do that myself. Like
it's hard because you're also surviving. You're also trying to feed your face and get enough sleep and exercise and be nice to the people who are really close.
Yes,
because those people you really want to keep in your sphere. But yeah, those little moments. That's what it's about.
It is. Like I say, yeah. Like what would I do if I was gonna die tomorrow? Do stand up. So that's like my goal, my life personal thing, right?
Yeah.
And then I'd want to just have a barbecue with my friends and family
and laugh,
possibly
and
by a lake. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what the meaning of life, I think, is like you just enjoy the company around you. People.
Yeah.
There's nothing better.
Yeah.
To me, there's nothing better than eating and being surrounded by good company.
Yeah. Well, kudos to that, and I'm enjoying your company, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy to make your acquaintance finally.
Yes.
Well, I don't have too much more written down here. I did want, you mentioned that you had some projects coming up that maybe
those weed crumbs?
Yeah, that's just something that I tapped out from the vape. Sorry, yeah.
You did your research for this, dude. Damn. And
I
then it
always
just
try to
became
write
like
some-
a topic of like, it just became a group therapy session.
Oh, I always try to come prepared, but sometimes I'm like, my notes are a little dry. I don't think I have that much. And then when this type of stuff happens, it's the best because then all of a sudden I'm like, not even looking at these now.
I don't know. Do you think people will I like this too because I don't like talking about myself. You'll be like, tell me about when you grew up. And I'll be like, I fucking hate myself. Let's talk about therapy.
Yeah, the whole thing, man. I like the philosophical edge we took here, but I don't want to leave out because you did tell me you had some project coming up that you were gonna drop, or
I have a big project in not that big, medium project.
well, something you wanted to plug. I thought it was.
Yeah, I might announce it later. It's something to do with the CBC, so it's pretty
nice.
cool.
Well, teaser.
So
then.
I'm doing something with that, like
Cool.
a video project. So excited about that. And
You have stand-up dates coming up at all, or?
I do have stand-up dates. I mean, I don't know when this is going to come out. It'll be Toronto.
True. This will probably come out on, I think, the 20th or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a little.
The 20th.
Are you doing the competition?
No.
I guess you're too pro for that. Shit.
Yeah, you got to step away from competitions.
No, I mean that earnestly, because I feel like if you're like able to tour and headline, you shouldn't be taking that opportunity from someone who's like a true
I think so.
up and comer, because
Because when I was
You're
doing
gonna destroy them.
competitions, I was like, why are these guys doing it? And then I won, and then I was like, all right.
yeah, you get to win once, and then I feel like after
That's
that,
it.
going back is bad form. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do a whatever, like a Seattle comedy competition where it's all headliners up
Yeah.
against each other, Canada's top comic or
The
something.
next tier, yeah.
Not like, yeah.
Not local steez, yeah. Okay.
But no, I'll show up to it. I'm excited. I love going to those. Not much to plug, man. Dates, just my socials, and so I post my dates on there.
Oh, those will all appear when you first appear on screen. It'll
Okay,
have all your
sweet.
stuff
Yeah.
underneath
So
you.
just my Instagram.
So rewind to the beginning if you want to see
Yeah,
those.
check out my dates, guys. I don't know what they are, but Instagram at Abdullah Comedy, ABDULLAH Comedy, and TikTok is Abdul Laughs, ABDULAUGHS.
I'll bring them back on screen at
I
the
don't know.
end.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And we'll do like the letters as you're saying them.
Yeah. I forgot how to spell laughs. I just post content. I post stand up, all of that.
No, it's funny stuff. I like your sketches and
thank
stuff too. You did a lot of stuff about your family and
Yeah,
the way that you were raised and stuff. So
I stopped doing those. I got to do those again.
yeah, I thought they were pretty funny. I was
Thanks,
perusing
man.
them, enjoying myself. Okay, well, I do have one question then.
Yes.
The last one we've asked everybody this season, which is if you weren't wanting to do stand up so badly, which clearly you're super passionate about, what would be your alternative sort of dream job? Or if this is easier, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
What did I want to be when I was growing up? Oh, it's fitting because we're in this room. Comic book artist.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
I used to be like a graphic designer, art, all that was super.
I saw your Black
artsy.
Panther that you did. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I like to draw, dabble in drawing. I wanted to be a comic book artist. I used to always draw all these guys. Dude, I used to be so good. Well, I had like an elementary school level of drawing them that kids started buying them off of me.
Oh, no way.
So I started doing commission work. So
That's
I draw
awesome.
like Pokemon for people, and they'd be like, all right. He's like, how much? I'll be like, it's $2 for a Charizard, $1 for a Squirtle.
It's a hustler.
Or like $3 for 4. I could give you $3. And so I'll draw their favorite
Bundle
character.
deal, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I was hustling and they're like, yo, 2 fruit roll-ups. I'll draw you Tarzan. I draw Tarzan and Spider-Man. And then one kid, dude, this is capitalism at its best, dude. He bought my work and was flipping it for like $5 to $10. I'm like, what kid has $10 on him?
Oh, my God.
He was buying my work and then selling it to other people. So he'd like take commissions then because he was my best customer.
What a douchebag.
I remember him, dude. His name was Ibrahim. Fucking pussy, Ibrahim. I'll fight you, dude. He's probably still out there selling my work. He's probably selling my stand-up videos.
Oh, my God.
And so, yeah, I really got into the business world back then.
Oh,
Selling.
man, that's funny.
Yeah, so
Shit, comic artist. That's cool. Did you have a favorite superhero?
who was my favorite? You got to go with Spider because Spider-Man came out when I was a kid. The movie,
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire,
okay.
huge dude, huge movie.
Me, it was the Spider-Man Fox cartoons in the 90s. That's what
Those
I
were
grew up
good
with.
too.
Yeah.
I watched all those reruns. Spider-Man was big into it. I remember my mom we're talking about religion. She was so religious because you're not allowed to like premarital sex, kiss, whatever. So the upside down kissing scene came on, and my mom like she like put her hands on my thing,
That's funny.
and then I had to watch it again. My buddy like a year later had like a VHS, and then he watched it.
Finally got to see it.
And he was like, and I was like, I shouldn't watch this. And he was like, you're not going to watch this, you loser? This is the best part. And then I was like,
This
what
is
do you
where you're
mean?
supposed to masturbate
and
to.
then he was like, yeah. He was like, well, he's like, they're French kissing. Do you know what French kissing is? And I was like, I don't know what French kissing is. He's like, it's not like regular kissing. And I was like, what happens? And he goes, he's like, this is white people do this. He's another Pakistani kid, so we'd like try to just decode the North American world because our parents were like, don't do. He'd be like, I found out what French kissing is, dude. I asked Dylan on the playground today. It's when a guy and a girl take their tongues, and then the guy's puts his tongue on top of the girl's
The upside
tongue,
down thing.
and then they just, it's like they dock their tongues, and then they just like go in and close their mouths, like, and then they just leave it there.
Oh man.
And I was like, no way. And yeah,
So you have to be upside down to do it, is what they're implying, or no?
I think you could just dock your tongue on.
Oh, just okay.
Yeah, but that was advanced docking, dude. You can't do. A Muslim boy like me can't pull that maneuver off.
I was gonna say that's a bad kiss to see for like your first kiss, an upside down
That
one
was,
to try
yeah.
to interpret that shit.
Yeah. I was like, what is going?
So okay, first I got to get up on the fire escape. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, you just lay your tongues on top of each other and like close your mouth, seal them together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, Spider-Man, he's the comics choice. So
So
that makes sense. He's the underdog.
Spider, yeah, he's an underdog.
He's always broke. He's always like
Yes, I think that's why he's very relatable. He's the
he's
neighborhood
always trying
guy.
to put out like 4 fires in his life.
Nobody like
And
believe.
an actual fire.
Yeah, the cops hate him, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'd say I'm a huge Batman fan.
Nobody more obscure though. I
Obscure,
want to know
yeah.
how nerdy you are. I guess I'm waiting for you to be like
okay.
Gambit or something. A little.
No,
even
no.
he's not that obscure.
Gambit is not that.
Gambit's overrated.
I am a big Wolverine fan. He's Canadian.
Super obscure.
Yeah. Well, I don't know this. I don't go into super obscure ones, but I have like gone into the obscure comics of the big guys. Like I read like this entire 500 thing issue of like it was like in mid 2000s of Logan and his backstory and all of Project X and got his fucking bones.
Is that when
ripped.
they first? Because there was something in the early 2000s. It was like a big upset because the longest time Wolverine, like that's probably how you remember him. Logan was the only name they knew. It's sort of like the movie, I guess. He had the adamantium bonded to his.
Yeah.
But sorry, what I meant to say is the claws were supposed to be added. Like they gave him the claws.
Right.
They were never bone claws. Like when I was growing up, even in the 90s, it wasn't the case. It was like, no, they gave him the metal on the skeleton and they gave him these claws. And no one knew his name. And then in the early 2000s, some writer, it got approved to be canon or whatever.
Yeah.
That, no, he had bone claws and he grew up in like the Northwest Territories and his name was James Howlett. I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, what?
Yeah,
Logan
the
James Howlett now? That took a while to digest. Now I'm fine with it. But.
Well, his whole thing is, his power is like regenerate. He's like 300 years old.
Yeah, well,
So
the mystery was part of the appeal, in my opinion.
That is, and then
and
this
then they
book I
filled
read.
it in, and it was like,
Yeah, so there's a lot of different versions of. Now I'm getting dorky, right?
well, who
Now
knows what he can remember is what they always say, right?
So the whole thing is he was used as like a machine his whole life because he fought in like all the wars since the 1700s, and so some like secret Illuminati type people would always use him as like a soldier and wipe his memories. And because
and implant fake ones, too.
And they could fuck around with all these procedures on him because he'd regenerate. You could just fuck around with
he
his
was the only
brain,
one who could survive that
survive
shit.
the adamantium.
Well, and Sabretooth, I guess.
Yeah, and Sabretooth, but he's not as cool because he's fat. So
Well, he's bulky, right? I wouldn't call him
he's
fat.
kinda fat,
He's very
so
muscly.
You don't like fat people around here, dude. I'm kidding.
Sabretooth is pretty muscly, dude, man. He's pretty ripped.
In the movies, he's played by
some wrestler guy in those old ones, Tyler Kane, something like that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he had the.
I always thought he was terrible casting, actually.
Yeah, that was. Bad.
Oh no, you're thinking of Liev Schreiber.
Okay.
He was okay as Sabretooth. He was in a couple terrible movies. That Wolverine Origins movie was dog shit, but he was good as Sabretooth, I thought. He really pulled it off.
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think that was all.
You know who I'm talking about? That's the guy with
the chops, yeah. So anyways, that's the Wolverine. It's cool. It's very cool. The whole thing is,
they fucked with his memory. And
they fucked with his memory. Everybody he's loved has always died because whoever was trying to take advantage of him would intentionally try to get him in. They would intentionally try to get him in a rage, so he'd become a killing machine. So they just kill his like wife or girlfriend or whatever,
just to get him worked up.
And he's had like so many, and so it's very edgy and all that. I like.
Oh man. Do you know, this is an obscure Wolverine villain, I wonder if you know. Do you know a guy named Cyber?
No, I don't.
He was like
know.
a 90s Wolverine. Do you know Cyber? I think he was part of Weapon X and all that, but he's got adamantium like on his entire skin except for a small patch where he eats, and I'm assuming his asshole because he's got to do the other end. But his mouth is open and skin is there, I guess. But and his eyes. But he's got adamantium like just for skin. And then he's got like these little fucking needles for fingertips that can inject like some kind of poison in people. And the way they killed him in the end was they took a big swarm of like meat-eating scarabs or something, and they got through the hole where he didn't have the metal skin, and they ate him from the inside out.
Jesus.
That's some obscure shit. But yeah, Cyber. He's this big hulking guy. Always looks like a moron, but...
I know of Dante. This is kind of obscure. This is from this comic book series in 2010.
Dante? I don't know.
I think it's Dante. I'm pretty sure it's not. Maybe it's something else. No, it's not Dante. It's something else with the D. I'm fucking forgetting. But it's Wolverine's son. He had a son.
Oh, Dakin or Dakin, or I don't know how you say it.
Yeah.
He's
His
got
name
the
means the
tattoos
devil.
and shit.
Yeah. He's like his son who Wolverine didn't know about.
Yeah.
Who also
he's got one claw that comes out the bottom,
and
I think,
then two up here.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Dakin.
And he's like half Asian too.
Yeah. And because Wolverine has a whole Japanese.
Mariko or some one of these chicks.
Yeah. So that guy's cool, but he's like a full...
There's so many Wolverine type characters now. I don't really follow comics like I used to even 10 years ago. I used to download them and read them and shit when my kids were young.
Same.
But X-23, obviously everybody knows
X-23.
now because she was in the Logan movie. But now there's a new one called Honey Badger who is like, I don't know, a clone or she's got some sort of Logan DNA in her.
Yeah, but X-23 is a clone. Well,
it's like her sister or it's the other one they rejected, or I don't know.
And Deadpool's a clone.
I shouldn't speak to this because I don't know who she is really. So I don't know who Honey Badger is other than she's got just one claw on either side and one on each foot. And she's really young. She's like, 13 or something. But she's the newest one I saw, part of the Wolverine.
That's sucky character. Also, like Deadpool's a clone, X-23.
Is Deadpool a clone?
Deadpool is a clone.
I don't think he's a clone.
He
was an experiment. He was a guy who they fucked with because he had cancer or something, and they said they could fix him by giving him this healing factor, but it scarred him all over.
It's Wolverine's blood.
I don't think it was Wolverine's
It's Wolverine.
blood. Is it? I don't. Everything gets retconned and they change shit.
We can look it up 100%. That's why he's like one of Wolverine's biggest enemies / like friends.
This may very well be true. I don't know.
Oh yeah, dude. Deadpool got Wolverine's healing factor.
That I didn't know.
And they made it so good, and like he got it so well. Whatever, like
it took to him.
Like he's all healing factor.
Yeah,
like it works so fast.
Yeah, he can regenerate his.
He
head
didn't have that at all before. So a lot of
he wasn't a mutant.
Like Wolverine was like the biggest thing in X-23 because of the healing factor.
Yeah,
he was one of the biggest things in the X-Men universe because nobody else has that.
Yeah,
so there's been a bunch of clones.
I mean, the Hulk arguably has a healing factor.
Hulk has but you can't because
not like
his blood is like poisonous, so you can't.
He just regenerates. Like, again, we're getting super nerdy here, but Hulk does have some kind of. I would say Spider-Man heals faster than the next. So
Spider-Man has a healing factor,
but not like Wolverine.
Hulk is the only one that's probably better than the Wolverine.
I don't know. Wolverine is pretty good. Bullets pop out of him and shit.
Yeah, but the Hulk is like takes missiles.
So nerdy.
He takes like tank missiles. The Hulk can like be in space without a.
Well, that's what I'm saying. With the Hulk, I don't know.
But it's not like natural. Like he's not a mutant. It's just like gamma
radiation.
So you can't duplicate that. Well, they've tried, but you can't because people just die if they get radiation poisoning or whatever.
Well, and like you're saying with the missiles, Hulk doesn't really need to heal very often because generally speaking, nothing fucking hurts him in the first place.
Yeah, but he has a regeneration thing because the whole thing is the more hurt he gets, the stronger he gets. So
back in the day, like the really old comics, I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure he used to grow in size when he would get angrier too.
Yeah, even in the movie.
Which one?
Dude,
the Edward Norton one?
Mention the Hulk as one of my favorite. The Hulk is probably higher than all of these guys. I grew up on they would play like midnight reruns of the Lou Ferrigno Hulk from the 60s.
Really old school.
And my parents would tape that for me. Like VCR record that for me.
I'm sure he watched them all back in the day.
They were so good and they were like I'm sure they're awful now, but I used to watch them with my parents and they would like record those for me and it was pretty sick. It was a sick show.
The one where he grew was that one that everyone shat on, the Ang Lee one.
2003.
Yeah. Ang Lee.
But I'm pretty sure in the comics he grows as well. Like I don't think he like gets massive, but in the comics it's just like he gets stronger the angrier he gets. Then in the Ang Lee one, they just made him like
actually grow like
huge,
the size of a building or whatever.
Right.
I think that's happened in the comics too. I know Red Hulk, he gets hotter the more angry he gets. He starts to actually like steam and emit heat.
Yeah, and if you turn gray, he gets a little smarter.
Yeah, Grey Hulk was always Mr. Fix-It.
Mr. Fix-It.
Right.
Yeah, man, we're super nerdy.
The Ed Norton.
This is very like as the guy listening to this, you guys are way off the nerd charts right now.
Well, to be fair, we were almost going to wrap the episode, so anyone who wanted to check out, they had their opportunity.
I dropped all my non-existent dates. Now I can talk about the Hulk.
Well, to be fair, maybe this is, from my privileged white guy standpoint with not enough Muslim friends, but I didn't expect I would be having this huge nerd conversation with you. I think very much of comics as like a white guy realm for the most part.
You're like, tell me why you don't eat pork, you fucking loser.
Oh my God. I don't eat pork, actually. I don't eat meat generally.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Vegetarian?
Not religion, though.
Vegetarian?
Yeah, I mean, I eat fish sometimes.
Okay. What's it?
Pescatarian, yeah. I don't like go around saying I'm a pescatarian though. That's how infrequently I eat.
Just for health.
Gets confused with Episcopalian. That's why.
That's like a religious thing, right? Yeah.
But what's Pesca? They worship fish. Is that what it is?
No, it's just a one of the Christian offshoot religions, like Baptist, Episcopalian,
or whatever. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it was mainly I don't know. It was a mix of things. Health. Wanting to eat healthier, but also empathy for animals, I suppose.
Right.
I just feel weird about eating
an animal.
carcasses and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even when I eat fish, I kind of just like take my medicine. I'm like, it's good for your skin, and there's fish oil, and like I kind of just eat it, but I don't really enjoy it. Tuna sandwich would be the only exception.
I can see that, but
that's just me.
I feel like
anxiety.
I'm not nourished if I don't have the soul of another creature in front of me. I feed on souls, dude.
Yeah, no judgment. As long as you're not eating children, then we're good.
Yeah.
Or I suppose if you told me I ate puppies or something, I would be cool with that.
You would, yeah, I wouldn't, yeah.
Some people do. I don't know.
Yeah, there's people who eat.
It is a weird thing.
And that's how we got locked down for 2 years.
Yeah, that's true. But it's interesting to say, why is it okay to eat one animal but not another? It is a weird.
Well, a lot of people say this. I
distinction.
think for me, it's a smart. Yeah, the whole intelligence.
Intelligent? Yeah, but people eat pigs and they're smarter than dogs.
Yeah, I don't agree with eating pigs.
Okay, well, fair enough. Yeah,
well, that's the magical animal.
Pigs?
According to Homer Simpson.
Yeah, Homer Simpson, yeah. Because they make bacon and ham and all these other meats he loves.
No, I just don't agree with eating it because that's one of the Muslim teachings that stuck. Where it's more like conditioning, like to eating meat is kind of gross. Yeah. So that's why like when you get older, it's harder for you to eat new types of meat. You will eat chicken and beef. But then when
someone's like, here's alligator.
Yeah, when I was like late 20s or mid 20s, or sorry, not mid 20s, like late teens or early mid teens, I started dabbling into things and getting away from religion, and I was like, I'm like 19. It's too late for me to start eating like pork. Yeah, I'm not gonna. The taste, just you're like, nah.
I mean, that's when some people start drinking, or
I know I started drinking at the same time, but eating the meat of an animal that you were told is like
dirty
and unclean your whole life, which is kind of true.
Another thing you have in common with Jews.
Yeah.
And yet they're still fighting. Yeah, so many things in common, still fighting.
Shit. Yeah, it is a dirty animal, but I mean, chickens aren't that clean.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, any carcass is unclean unless you take care of it properly and prepare it for cooking and all that,
Yeah.
You could undercook some beef and it's pretty unclean, pretty dirty.
But you could eat raw beef, right?
I don't think it's great for you to eat raw beef. You could get E. coli and shit from that, I'm pretty sure.
It has to be like good quality beef, but people eat it. People
like a rare steak, I suppose, or a blue steak. Or
yeah, that shit is disgusting.
Oh, you can't eat raw ground beef.
Steak tartare is raw beef.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's raw ground beef. Maybe I'm thinking of. There's some rule about
raw
that.
Ground beef is because they get like the asshole of the cow and all that. So you can't because they get the.
I'd rather it wasn't ground because then it goes through machinery.
Yeah,
all this shit.
Yeah,
that's someone just slices it. Like carpaccio, I think is that right? It's just
like I think if you hunt and eat your meat that way, that's like the most respectable way I have. If I hear someone's eating meat, you do you. But if you hunt and deal with it all on your own and use all the animal and just factory farming and all the Walmart meats and all that just
can't be good for anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The whole thing, the climate and everything. But
well, just like also having some empathy for the animals. At least if you're going to eat an animal, you would hope that you wouldn't just be like, all right,
yeah, dude, it's pretty bad.
Like
those
try to
videos.
give them some kind of nice life, and then whenever you got to do what you got to do, make it as painless as possible. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
There's those shock things I seen them use. I stumbled somehow on a YouTube video once that really disturbed me, and it was just POV, like almost like a video game or something, of a guy on a cattle farm who clearly his job was just to like kill the cows.
Yeah,
and they had
they
some kind of
shock kill.
shock thing between the eyes or whatever.
Yep.
And then they just drop and their legs go out, and it kind of fucked me up.
yeah,
I was very not happy to have found that.
yeah, dude, yeah. Factory farming is whack.
Well, the comments are whack too, when people are just like, "Yeah, look at them drop."
Really?
Cow tipping, maybe, but this is fucked up.
Look at that loser.
Oh man, country bumpkins are hilarious to me.
Yeah,
Also terrifying.
yeah.
Depending on.
Go out west. Go out west. You'll see a lot of them. Canadian cowboys.
No, I'm sure there's good people wherever you go.
Yeah.
We're only talking stereotypes here.
Yes. A lot of the country people are very nice.
Good folk. Yeah.
Good folk, simple folk. Once again, they're blissful. They're more aware. They're mindful. They don't have anxieties. They don't
Yeah.
give a fuck about what the world
Life is
is
at a
doing.
slower pace.
Life is at a slower pace, and they enjoy
Probably for
their
the best.
time. Like the guy, this dude came out to one of my shows in Grand Prairie, and he was like a young kid, and he was a farmer. And I was telling him, I was like, dude, I'm jealous of you, of farming. And it's like, he's like, yeah, man, honestly, it's great. Like you just work outside all day. You feel accomplished. And it's just at the end of the day, I take my old he has like a 60s Mustang that he's like repairing, and I ride it around town.
Probably in good shape.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I take the boys, we go chat up the girls. It's a great time. We don't care about anything. I'm like, yeah, fuck, I'm just like the city. It's all about your phone and what other people are doing. And he was like, dude, I don't even have my phone on me right now.
Yeah.
And I was like,
What a
"Where's your-"
concept, eh?
I was just like, where's your phone? And he was like, it's at home. I'm like, where do you live? He lived like 30 kilometers away on his farm. Just left his phone there. I was like,
That sounds amazing,
So
man.
jealous.
Yeah.
I was so jealous.
Have you ever had the fucking?
He was there to watch my show, watch my comedy, and he enjoyed it. He was more in the moment than me.
Yeah.
I was doing the jokes, and I was not fully in the present. And he enjoyed my comedy more than I did.
Yeah, there's something to that.
There is something weird. Like I might not enjoy my jokes after I've done them a million times, but he probably got more out of that than my entire process of writing and performing, because I don't appreciate it. He just appreciated some guy telling him a joke.
Yeah. Well, that's honestly the best part about comedy is going to comedy shows, I find.
Yeah.
I mean, I like doing comedy. I don't do it enough, but there's nothing funner than going to a show and watching and just like, assuming it's a good comedian, but just getting to just sit and kick back in the audience and laugh your ass off.
That is true.
It's so good for the soul, I find. Like you just, I mean, you could do that at home with a really funny movie or whatever, I suppose. But there's something about the environment that's.
It's the same thing, yeah. Like with me, I just, with a couple of friends who were really funny, and then we just drink beers and eat chicken wings and laugh and make each other just say ridiculous things. There's nothing better.
Yeah.
Just make each other laugh.
That's your happy place.
I guess comedy shows also, but it's just I'm around clubs so often, it's takes the charm out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's fair,
If I watch a comedian, I'm just like dissecting it. I'm like, all right.
You can't shut it off.
Misdirection. Yeah. Oh, I like that setup. Oh, that was a observation type joke. Oh, look, he's doing rule of three. Like I'll just
you're a true comics comic.
I'll get a
sure.
dork. I'll turn into a dork and start taking like mental notes. I'll be like, oh, why am I not writing jokes like that?
And then you feel like you're not.
And then
being
you
in the
feel like
present.
you're not. Then you go like, I gotta go. I feel like I should be working right now. You know the spiral, dude.
Yeah, well, we dug our teeth into it for sure, man.
Yeah.
This was a really fun talk. Thanks, just for doing this and taking the time to chat with me.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me. This was a blast.
All right, well, I guess we'll leave it on that.
Yeah.
Where you do a high five usually?
Yeah.
They always suck.
We gotta get the angle. Yeah.
There we go.
gotta
Yeah,
get
I
this.
gotta lean in more. That's what we
Yeah.
gotta do. Anyways, thanks for watching.